Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to What's Talk Raps. You're listening to What's Talk Raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Morning. It is Saturday. It is noon Eastern time.
It's Saturday.
You know what time it is. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. I'm here with my co-host, Righteous Reg. What's going on, bro?
In the building, it's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster, media man. It's Saturday morning. I'm feeling good, Philip Lindsey, and it's Grapsody. What's up with you, my friend?
Yeah, I just told you walking into the house what was going on, and I was just like, all right.
We on that type of time this Saturday. It's wild.
So, I went with my dad to have breakfast, and, my sister and her kids went, and for some reason, we were standing outside and the kids were racing, and one of them talked my dad into racing them. And I was just like, I could almost see this not going well as it started. When they were lining up to race, I was like, all right, you sure? And so I looked this way, and I turned around, and you could see someone falling in slow motion.
Oh, no.
And you could see it like, oh no. And I could see my dad like falling, like face planting forward. I was like, Dad.
Man.
So, he's all right. He just scraped himself up a bit. And I was like, don't be racing, man. It's all right.
This is a 68-year-old man, you said, right, Philip Lindsey?
It's a 68-year-old man.
In them streets.
It was like, man, had my dad out there trying to race him in some Skechers. I was like, Dad.
Come on, bro.
Come on, dog.
Not in the Skechers, man. That's crazy. What is your dad one of those guys that still, I mean, it sounds like it, like he's still like, no, I could still be on the basketball court.
Very competitive guy.
Yeah, he's very competitive.
Very competitive.
Playing the board games, and he's still going at you.
Yeah, very competitive guy. When I was growing up, I learned how to play chess, and my dad used to play chess, and so he kept going. You got to come over here and play me in chess, and so every time he would beat me, and I'll never forget the time I had this guy beat. Like I was watching, I was looking at all of the pieces going to place. I was like, oh yeah, I got you. And then all of a sudden he started taking the pieces off. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? He was like, well, you're gonna win anyway. I was like, no, let me win. He was like, well, you won already. What's the big deal? I was like, you didn't even let me get the checkmate or anything. He was like, nah. He was like, nah, you got it. It's fine. I was like, what is this?
Can't get that official win, bro. You know what time it was.
And I mean, up to that point, he had beat me every time. But this time I was just sitting there looking. I was like, nah, I think I got you, bro. And
sounds hella funny, bro.
Very funny guy. I said, Dad, you couldn't just let me have that one. He was like, I did. I was like, you could have just played it through.
Mm-hmm. Nah, he did. He let you have it.
Yeah.
He probably still thinks about that one too. Like, ooh, that one time he almost had me.
Yeah.
Shout out to your pops.
Yeah. So how's things going with you?
Crazy way to start a Saturday. I've been again living in San Francisco for the last 2 weeks, dog sitting. So I've been living a very different life back in Oakland, though, for Grapsody. I listened to some hip hop music yesterday driving across the bridge. Very dope release schedule last night. I listened to half of the Future album, which I think is really dope. Mixtape Pluto sounds like if you want some classic Future records, you got them right here. Like huge bass. Like there's one song that I don't know if you saw, Phil, has been going viral because Future did Future and mumbled through some things. There's one song where he like nobody knows what he's saying and he's just like being Future, but it like sounds good on the beat, so he put it out there. You haven't heard it?
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard any of the Future.
It's hilarious. Future is classic Future, but yeah, if you like that type of shit, definitely check that out. Also listen to the new Alchemist, which is like you're already the best producer. How are you gonna like have dope raps to it? Like it almost makes me upset a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard any of that. I listened to a lot of the Vince Staples album again
Mm-hmm.
this week. Still one of the best albums this year to me.
Yep.
Um,
It's been an insane year for
yeah,
hip
we.
hop. Coming in every week, I'm like another two dope hip hop albums
I'm
came out.
telling you, I think that 50th anniversary did something, man. Like
It did.
it felt like it was like almost like a gauntlet got thrown down. Like man, because I was watching MC Light on Breakfast Club,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about how she's dropping a new album, and they asked her,
Let's go.
why are you putting out music? And she's just like, cause LL just challenged me to do an album. He said he was dropping an album, so he challenged me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna put some music out. And as far as I've heard, I still haven't heard the LL in full, but the LL album seems good. We got a new Ghost and Meth single, which is fire.
Bruh. It sounds like classic Wu-Tang. Yeah,
It does.
if it really does feel like that's what it was. It felt like people were out there and they were like, I think they still got us messed up as hip hop artists and hip hop legends. And LL came out with an incredible album, and I'm sure all of his peers were like, well, damn, LL could still do it at a high level. We should all try to do it. Speaking of that, I saw an announcement that they're doing a Queen Latifah biopic produced by your boy Will Smith. I'm like, yo, this is sounds insane. I think this is the only time in history we want the actual person to play the person in the movie, right? Like Queen Latifah has to play herself.
I don't know how that works, but we shall see. It sounds like Will Smith is producing it.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, this is hip hop as hell already.
Yeah, it sounds dope. Queen Latifah, of course, a legend. One of the best female rappers ever. One of
Yeah.
the best rappers, period, turn actor.
Yep.
Had a phenomenal career when you talk about just not just rapping, movies, hosting. It's done like Broadway and all these other things.
It's
Yeah, shout
insane.
out to her. Jersey's own.
She's been on this TV show she's on for some years now. Like Queen Latifah is exactly that. So when I heard that they were doing this movie, I was like, oh, perfect person. Like an incredible career, one of the best. Like if they just focused on hip hop, it'd be amazing. If they just focused on acting, it'd be amazing. But they're gonna have all of it, so it's gonna be insane. Can't wait to see that. Yeah, it's been an incredible week and month and years for hip hop. So I'm excited. I'll listen to the CL Smooth on Drink Champs, which was incredible. He had a lot of gems on there. He doesn't talk a lot. And just like at one point, he was like, I wonder what it would have been like if a white man had wrote They Reminisce Over You. Like he's like, what how different would it be if someone had wrote this massive song that's still relevant and still timeless to this day, how different their life would have been. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Cause like he should be like, I always think of like if they made like you got to pick 5 hip hop songs ever that like
One of
define the genre. That's one of them. You know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
greatest ever,
Like
for
you
sure.
have to put his song on there, and like he doesn't get the respect at all that he deserves.
Yeah, nah. When that instrumental comes on, you immediately
Mm.
know, like that's one of the greatest hip hop records of all time. Um, yeah, we've been trying to avoid getting into the negative hip hop news, but Sean Diddy Combs is officially in custody. Kind of saw this coming with a lot of stuff that came out following Cassidy's lawsuit on him.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it just kept getting worse and worse. More and more stories started coming out about him. And then they raided his house at one point, and I said, "Oh, this
Not
kind of
good.
has that look." And here we are. He was officially arrested this week. On multiple charges. I believe one of them was racketeering, had some sex trafficking in there.
Might get hit with the Rico.
The
They
black
pulled up.
people.
They pulled up on the homie walking into a hotel. Like he was just like back from my nice day, and they were like, "Hold on a minute, buddy."
Hold a
Lock the
minute.
homie.
Hold on a minute, player.
But hold on a minute, player. You about to go one-on-one with the Undertaker for sure. Locked him up, and it's official. It's been nasty on the timeline, Phil. Like, first of all, the people that have been like making skits and bits off of it, I'm like, not
Weird.
the time. Read the room, you guys. I don't want to see your baby oil skits right now. What are you doing?
Now,
There's like real lives on the line.
now, of course, because things are funny, and sometimes there are things about this that are funny. There are some jokes that are funny, um, but some people were really harmed here.
Yeah.
So hopefully, anybody that is a survivor of all of the things that we've heard, and some of the things we probably haven't heard, hopefully they're doing well. Hopefully, Cassie is doing well. Um, yeah, it's crazy, just crazy, just how far this came, like how big of an impact this guy has had on hip hop culture, and
He changed the
this is
entire
where he is, man.
landscape of hip hop. Like my favorite year of hip hop ever is 1996. This man came and in 1997 changed the entire, like by 97 it was a completely different thing because he had like took it to these crazy heights. He had added in these crazy samples. He had like changed the entire trajectory of what being a rapper was. And I still hate him for it. I'll never forgive him. I'm
one
so
of
happy he went down.
one of my all-time favorite rappers is forever linked to this guy, unfortunately. um
People's like hella people's number ones feel like hella people. If you're like, hey, what's your number one? Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Like so many people say Biggie, and he stood directly next to this guy.
yeah but yeah, a lot of craziness we heard out of this. It sounded like there was a rumor that he might try to run, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when they made the move to pick him up. And of course, he has not posted bail yet because
Yeah.
he's a flight risk. I had to assume somebody with his money and influence is an immediate flight risk. So we don't want to see him in Bali like
No,
Russ
sir.
with the ceiling fans and the bamboo behind him. So
Crisscross applesauce inspirational videos, bro. Nah,
yeah,
I don't need them. Don't need them. Yeah, the timeline has been sick. The algorithm has been showing me all these crazy conspiracies attached to it, and I'm like, you guys, like, they're connecting like the Kim Porter stuff and like Cassie stuff and Aaliyah stuff and Jennifer Lopez. I'm like, could you guys leave me out of this? I don't
now
want any of this.
one of the funniest things I saw this week, we talked about it a little bit on Ask Grapsody, is the video of Shine talking about it. Now, first of all, very glad that Shine is doing okay
Mm-hmm.
with everything that happened with him being deported and everything. And it seems like he's in good spirits. He seems like he's doing great. But he did this short interview where he's talking about how he sees this Diddy stuff. And he talked about how he ruined his life at one point. And so, he still doesn't wish bad on him, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that was admirable. But out of this, people were like, "Wait, the Shine? He looked very different." Because the Shine I know had, you had the baldy, dark, he had the deep voice. Now he's got like the very Belize accent, and people were calling him Belize Obama. I was like, "Yo,
When I scroll past Belize Obama on the timeline, I was out of here. But yeah, we know Sean is who wanna unk with us, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. He used to be like
what?"
a bit spitter. Yeah, you know what I mean? They were like, remember they were trying to say he sounded like Biggie too. It's like it was some crazy
Yeah,
connections.
listen,
But yeah, one of the craziest casualties, I guess, to this guy was Shine and what he went through as that shooting in the club and all that crazy stuff. And still he said the same thing. It's crazy because like Mick Foley was in the news this week, and I'm like, Shine kind of said the same thing, like, oh, well, he's doing bad, but I don't, I hope he does all right. And other people are like, I don't hope he does all right. So
but yeah, man. Again, well wishes to all of the people that may have been affected by Diddy over the years. I still
crazy.
think it's kind of crazy that we've glossed over the fact that he tried to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and Kid Cudi just admitted it like it was nothing. It's just all right. That's the thing that
That
happened.
piece of a story to it, and that's just like, oh
I
yeah,
mean,
and he tried to do that. It's like, what?
all of
What?
these like random small things that we've heard, like the J. Cole story where he's saying he got into a fight with him. I'm like, dude, what's happening here?
What was going on? I saw a little bit of Elliot talking about it, and Elliot's like, yeah, he's been like, every time I see him, he looks out of it, and I'm like, That's scary. But yeah, the Kid Cudi thing is so wild. To like that could be like we could talk about just that one story for like years in hip hop, like do documentaries on it and all this, and it's just like a blurb of like, yeah, you blew up Kid Cudi's car too, and like that was a thing. It's like there's so many pieces to this. We're gonna start to see a lot of nasty things come out of this.
Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're gonna hear more stories. The documentaries that eventually come out are gonna be crazy. There's gonna be more to this. I don't see a situation where he doesn't do some jail time. I think this is forever gonna tarnish his career. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for everybody involved. His family, his kids. I've seen people talking about his kids showing up, and I'm like, there's kids. They're gonna support him. It's got to be a tough situation. But
yeah, sending love to all the victims, everybody kind of attached to this, that hopefully they get some kind of restitution, some kind of closure, some kind of something out of this, because it's been like 30 years of turmoil. So sending love out to them.
Yeah. I still think about seeing that Cassie video, and like
I saw it again this week and it made my stomach turn again.
Yeah, it's just very uncomfortable to watching him chase her down like that. It's just, and if that's like just a glimpse of something he was doing, he was doing other things that are probably worse that we don't even know about.
Freak offs.
Yikes.
I'm like, dog.
Yeah, and more positive news. So I don't want to end our hip hop talk on that. I saw a lot of clips of Day and Night coming out of this, because Day and Night had just hit the anniversary. It just hit did it just go diamond?
It went diamond, yeah. Diamond.
Which is crazy. That's not a lot of singles go diamond, but man, that Kid Cudi record, that album, huge influence on hip hop. One of the biggest artists in hip hop was very much influenced by Kid Cudi and Kanye West. That changed the way he was making a lot of music. And then of course Kanye West made one of the most influential albums of all time in 808s and Heartbreaks. Shout out to Cudi, man. I'm not the biggest Cudi fan, but man, I know what that song and that album did.
Yeah, shout out to Cudi. I definitely, Righteous Reg himself, went through a Kid Cudi phase where I was like, you know what? I'm doing that. Send me them space beats, brother. I'm gonna do my thing over there.
You was in there. You was in there writing on a notepad and balling up the papers to Day and Night.
I gotta recreate this. Now I was in my Kid Cudi bag for sure with my remember we was rocking the vest over the vest, little fedora hat,
or like that whole scarf era where everybody's putting the scarf on with the t-shirt.
Scarves. Yeah, we had the scarf. Man, we went through some nasty times, man. We went through the button-up era, the scarf era.
Thanks, Hove.
Over the vest era. No, I'm mad at Hove, dog. On Christmas, I told my mom, give me all button-ups. I need the S. Carters. I need some I had the full Hove gear, and it was all Hove's fault, Phil. I'm still mad at him.
Yeah, but yeah, great album, of course.
Amazing album.
We talked about it on Grapsody on Thursday. Food and Liquor turned 18 years old.
Crazy. You
guys know, big Lupe fan here. That album was instrumental in college, like a big, no pun intended, because instrumental is a record on there. Also, you guys know, we've talked about Linkin Park. Mike Shinoda produced that record. One of my all-time favorite Lupe records is And He Gets the Girl, and he talks about being a Linkin Park fan on there. So to get to the album and to get Mike Shinoda on to produce a record for him, and everything that came out of that album, just thinking like, man, that was 18 years ago.
This is
time flies.
This is so funny. We're talking about these two artists back to back, and they have this beef because both of these guys were so influential, and so what they did in changing the perception of what. It's funny, we were just talking about P. Diddy. These guys both changed the perception of what a hip-hop artist, what a rapper can be, especially for me as somebody alternative on the other side. This guy comes out with a skateboarding single. Kid Cudi's talking about mental health. Like, both of these guys changed everything, and it's so upsetting that Lupe wants to fight him still in the MMA cage.
Well, they made up, so it's fine.
They
They
made up.
made up, so it's fine.
Okay, thank God. I didn't know. I thought they were still because every time somebody was like, "Hey, what about Kid Cudi?" He's like, "What's up?" I'll pull up on. I'm like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah, so they've talked and they've made amends. It's fine.
Thank God. Oh, okay.
But no, one of my all-time favorite albums, Food and Liquor. I'm pretty sure I have the physical album somewhere here. Man, just again, how much that album changed things for me.
He just posted he was posting a lot of kind of old video clips and stuff, and he posted one of he's like wearing like a suit. It's like an
with a top hat.
Yeah. You saw that? I was dying when he rolled up there.
What a character, man. Lupe Fiasco is a very fascinating guy, man.
He's
what a
so
character.
Funny, dude.
But man, that era when he did the America Online sessions where he had the live band, absolutely brilliant.
Dog, I was obsessed with Lupe back then. Everything he was doing, I was like, this guy is the greatest rapper, man.
Yeah, there's so many things he was doing like at that time and things he was talking about that I didn't know any rappers that were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still big time Lupe fan. City of Chicago legend, West Side Zone. One of the greatest to me. I big Lupe fan. I'm not accepting any slander.
Never. I'm still trying to get this show. Nobody's gotten back to me. I don't know. November 21st in San Francisco, Lupe Fiasco and Righteous Reg, possibly. Who do I got to talk to? What do I got to do? It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of people that are like, those first two albums are his two classic albums. And for some people, it jumped off a cliff with lasers and like the protests and a bunch of other stuff.
But
then he had like
back up though.
Then he had like a sporadic few years of releases. But I think that he's had some incredible releases after that. I
think his last 3 releases have been really dope.
I was a big fan of Drogas. I was a big fan of Drogas Waves. I liked Tetsuya and Youth. I think that's one of his best albums ever.
Yep.
I liked the last album, Drill Music in Zion.
Yeah.
And the current album, I listen to a lot, man. The amount of times that I have Number One Headband on all the time, bro. This summer, Number One Headband has been playing a lot.
That's a great song. Great album. Really, that's one of my favorite albums of the year. Like, he's still doing it at a super high level. And honestly, he's probably doing it at a higher level than he did back then, honestly.
Yeah, but huge Lupe fan. Has a incredible mixtape run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you let me, I will go on an entire hour conversation about Lupe. So let's get out of here. Of course, as always, send us your super chats.
Yes, sir.
You want to, send us a message and show some love. Send my dad his well wishes. If you want to ask us some questions, be sure to shoot us a super chat, or you can send it to Humper Chat where we get a bit more piece of the pie. That's humperchats.com/Fightful.
Yes, sir. And let's get into a couple of these super chats. As always, we appreciate y'all submitting to us. Y'all are the best. Our friend Bragov says, "Happy Grapsody Day, Fightful AEW Tribal Chief Phil." One finger in the air.
Hey, man. I've seen people, do some things out here, and as usual, I thought it was pretty funny. I thought, in the midst of this, I was being called sensitive, and I was like, no, I actually think this is pretty funny. But whatever. Listen, I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate your acknowledgement. I am merely a humble servant, but I appreciate it.
I appreciate your acknowledgement. That's crazy. Yeah, somebody was on the Denise show like, if Phil's the AEW Tribal Chief, what are you, Reg? And I was like, I didn't know what they were talking about. I was hella confused. I was like, wait, what is going on here? But, of course, there's bits going on. There's always bits going on that we have to connect. And y'all are hilarious. Appreciate you, Bragov. Grapple Geekery says, heading out of town, listen to Grapsody. Haven't had the chance to tell Phil he was right. Hanger's a villain now. I still love him, though.
People didn't want to see it. Yeah. I saw T. Daniel Barbers in our chat says that he'd argue that Lasers wasn't one of his best albums, but it did have some deep songs. I would actually argue, even though it is probably one of the most divisive Lupe songs, it has some of his most noteworthy records on it. Like Words I Never Said is a quintessential Lupe record.
Agreed.
There's so many records on there that he got on there at the last minute that I think are a big part of his career.
We talk about it all the time. I'm Beeman's an extra on that, and that's like
it should be on the album.
That's a top 5 Lupe song for me.
I don't know how that's not on the album, but like Show Goes On is a big part of his
Show
career.
goes on's huge, yeah.
Shining Down is another like all-time great Lupe single. Should have been on the album as well. I believe that is a bonus record. Um, yeah,
Like he
very
could have made
divisive
an
album.
album out of the Lucy's. The Lucy's were almost better than the stuff on there.
Yeah, very divisive album, but some great moments on there nonetheless.
Deontay Soignier says, "You're in the way. You're in my way in life." Graps crew, what up, y'all? Brunch is done for me. Marigold Dream Star tourney going on. Tom defending her title. We want Mina. I want Mina a lot. All love, y'all. Appreciate you, Deontay.
That a lot's doing a lot in that sentence, Deontay. That's a lot.
There was a lot in that, yeah, most definitely.
Appreciate you, Deontay. Did you watch this cinematic experience last night of Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns at the Georgia Tech Arena? It's definitely something.
That's the way you'll describe it. Like Michael Bay directed this, Phil.
Now it looked great.
I
will say this, like it looked incredible. The stills they initially put out of them doing the face to face, I was like, this looks really cool. Ever since they did that, the build up and the trailers and stuff to WrestleMania this year, it kind of feels like they want to do more stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I thought that the pre-show and everything for WrestleMania was cool. I thought that trailer they put out was awesome. This was. It was very, very dramatic. Some of the music cues were very, very cheesy. This was, and I don't think it was bad. It was just sitting here watching. I was like, this is wild. Like, Cody pulling up in his car. Of course, Roman pulls up with his entourage. He's got like 7 or 8 cars with him, like he's the president or something. And he pulls up on Atlanta soil, and he's like, nah, I played football on this field. I bled and sweat on this field. This is my field. This is my house. That means this is my home. And now King of South had to put him straight. Like, you're in Atlanta. This is my home. This is my father built this here. We're up the street from the Omni, which is State Farm Arena. And he starts spitting out all of these things. I was like, nah, you can't talk like that to the King of the South, dog.
Like, I fucks with you, Roman, but come on. 2 years in football compared to what Cody in the South? Come on.
Nah, man. Nah, man. You came here, played. What are you telling me? He said you came here, played football, and then you went back to the beaches. Nah, bro. He's right. This is my hometown. Can't just come here and you know how disrespectful that is. That's like coming here and being like, yeah, I played football here for a while. Phil Brooks. Like, wait a minute. This is punk country. You can't just come here and say that. Atlanta is Cody's country. You can't do that.
We know what the history of the roads in the South, specifically in Atlanta, the connections, that just sounds crazy, but that's a good way for Roman to play mind games and get into his head. So I did like it.
Yeah, but they had the back and forth, and this is going into the tag match for Bad Blood. They had the agreement, and at one point, you know, Roman goes, "What do you need? What do you want from me?" He's like, "I just want your word that, you know, we can win this match together and you're going to be on my side." I have to imagine a lot of people that helped Cody beat Roman were sitting at home like, word? Like, Seth had to be sitting at home like, word, this is what you're doing?
This is what you're on right now?
KO was very unhappy about it. We could see all over his face he was unhappy about it. But Roman agreed. Then at the end, and this is what Deontay was joking on, they went to go their separate ways to get back in their vehicles, and they stepped in front of each other. Roman goes, "You're in my way," and then Cody goes to move out the way, and he's like, "Nah, you're in my way in life." And then it cuts the music back on. I was like, "Yo, what is this, man?"
Okay,
am I watching?
It did make me nervous because we did just talk about something days ago about Cody's reign, and I said, it might be looking like the big dog might be getting that back. And what did he say in this? I want that belt back.
Yeah, he did. Cody reassured him again, this is not yours anymore. Yeah, it was a cool little segment. It's not something I would like to see WWE do all the time, but I think we got the word this morning that Jeremy Borash was a big part of producing it,
Makes
which makes
sense.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was cool for what it was. Very, very dramatic. For the people that love Bloodline stuff and the cinema, this is really for them.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't like this,
I can't
because
imagine you would.
that's just leading to more ammo for the wrestling doesn't matter. It's all about the story. We just want to see these guys having a speech in a fucking football stadium. Like, I don't want it to lead to more of that. And that's what it's going to lead to. Cool segment. I like great moment and stuff, of course, but like, what are y'all doing, dog? Y'all could have did this in the ring.
Yeah, very much some almost like cliched Friday Night Lights drama.
Yeah, it did feel like Friday Night Lights.
It almost felt like at the end they were gonna stop and it was gonna hit the Eminem record. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry, but it's all right.
Cody's in the middle of the football field holding a football. It's raining down on him. Just gonna stand. But yeah, I guess that's building towards the match.
Yeah,
are we going one-on-one? What's happening here?
I mean, yeah, not for nothing. I think a lot of the promotional stuff they've done with Cody for Bad Blood, it's his hometown, has been really cool. The Metro stuff he did, this I think all of this is cool.
Totally, I'm excited for Cody too. He's been they've been paying off a bunch of moments that I feel like he's been wanting for years. I feel like he in his contract, he's like, all right, I need a big Atlanta moment. I want the big WrestleMania moment. When we get the big this, because all this feels like a bunch of culminations for him. I'm super excited about him. And it's Bad Blood, and blood, Cody.
Yeah, they did a little bit in the cage match. They're still doing the blood packs. They won't let him run the blade, but you can't have it all, man.
I mean, maybe when they get to Netflix.
Maybe.
Potentially. I mean, sponsors are still sponsors, though, right? That's what when people keep talking about Netflix and what's going to happen, I'm like, do the sponsors change? Like, is Mattel going to be like, all right, it's cool, go for it, you guys? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they scared us again this week because we can't have too much good news. We got the news that we're going to get 2 hours of Raw for the remainder of the year once the move is in place with USA. And there's a rumor that they're talking about making SmackDown 3 hours now that it's moved to USA. Buddy, let me tell you, I do not want 3 hours of SmackDown. Don't do this to us, man.
3 hours SmackDown, Philip Lindsey.
I don't want it. A big part of why I enjoy watching SmackDown more than Raw, even though I feel like Raw has been the better show for a few weeks, is that SmackDown is very concise. You can just watch it easy breezy and get out of there. 3 hours of SmackDown, I don't want it. I'm good.
The 2 hours feels like there's a sense of urgency around the product, around the show, around everything. It just feels like bam, bam, we're getting to it. We're going home. 3 hours is like, it's so crazy because when they announced it, there was a bunch of people in the comments being like, yeah, now we'll have more time for Bloodline stories. And now I'm like, whoa, things. Yeah,
we don't have enough time for Bloodline stories.
I know. This is me in the comments. Like, what are you guys saying? Because there's been so long of like many fans being like 3 hours is too long. We don't need that long for a weekly television program. But there's a sect of fans that are like, good. Now we'll get to have more Bloodline.
Yeah.
Which is makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, I don't need 3 hours.
But then they were like, oh yeah, then there's another WrestleVotes keeps coming out with all this news is like, and then Raw's gonna go back to 3 hours too. So I'm like 6 hours of programming.
Which I figured once it goes to Netflix, they're gonna hit their 3 hours on us. But we got the rest of the year to not think about that.
I'm excited about 2 hour Raws to see how they bring it in for the last remainder of the year, and then I'm excited to see how they are on Netflix. But 3 hour SmackDowns, not excited about it all. 0%.
No.
No. Don't want any. Our friend Aaron Busby says, "Did y'all watch the video breakdown of Family Matters? And if so, did y'all say the N word 37 times to prove your blackness?"
I haven't watched this this breakdown of Family Matters.
What's going on with that?
It's 2 hours for some reason. If people don't know, What's the Dirt has been doing breakdowns on a bunch of the stuff since the Kendrick and Drake beef started. And he's been doing a pretty good job. He got a lot of He got a lot of praise for the breakdown of Euphoria,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done good doing the breakdowns of the Kendrick records. He got a lot of praise for that, and he broke down Family Matters recently, and he did this theory about the amount of times Drake dropped the N-bomb in this thing, and it did not go over well with wrestling Twitter, hip hop journalists, and then the worst thing you can do, buddy. The worst thing you can do when something is said about you on Twitter is show that you're got into and start fighting
Facts.
with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this did not go well for what's the dirt guy. He has been getting completely throttled on the timeline the entire week. I saw he put out his apology this morning. I didn't watch it, but I knew the apology was coming because he was getting cooked all over the
He was
timeline.
getting destroyed. Every time I would see the time, like, man, they are giving this guy the business. What, like that? The Bone Dogs down. Wonder what that nigga did to deserve this. This is crazy. Nah, I don't know what happened. It all happened so fast, and I was like, the apology's taking too long, bro. Just get to it. Just be like, you know what? Fucked up. I'm sorry, you guys. But when you get into defense mode, and I understand when when they're on you, like, you know what? Hey, fuck all y'all. I don't give. I'm standing on business, but sometimes you just gotta let it go.
Listen, man. Drop, 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 drop. I still think it's wild that he did that for all this time. He kept like, man, come on, drop your records. He was doing it with the push-up record. Came with Family Matters, still saying drop. Listen, man. Careful what you ask for, man. Careful what you ask for.
He might drop. He gonna drop hard too.
Yeah.
Now he gonna be at the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
Yeah. Man, did you hear the Lecrae response to the Kendrick? Man,
Mm-hmm.
Lecrae's had him a week. He had that, and he had his freestyle on the radar. Lecrae's one of them guys, man. You give him a chance to actually rap, man. The guy's a spitter, man.
The only reason we don't talk about Lecrae with the rest of the rappers because he's a Christian rapper. That's it.
Yeah, I think some people put him in a box unfairly, but that guy, man,
Bro.
guy's nice, man.
It come down to spitters. Like, I'm not going against Lecrae.
That guy's nice. I mean, I love that Kendrick gave him the highlight, and then he ran with the ball and showed people like, yeah, I got this because when I get on this mic, I'm one of them guys.
That's what hip hop's all about. That's the foundation.
I love it. I love when people accept the challenge and then show you like, no, I'm nice. And that's always the best.
Y'all think why y'all are questioning why Kendrick said my name? This is why he said my name. Just like get in the booth.
Yeah, he also said D1. D1 is a guy that I respect quite a bit. He's had some kind of crazy allegations on his name. But I like D1, man. I respect a lot of his stance on things. May not always be the most popular.
I'm tired of allegations, Phil. Like I just want to
not those kind of allegations. There was some talk of him being government funded at one point, and people were like, "Oh, should we be listening to this guy?"
Even bad allegations, just allegations in general. Like, oh, there's allegations this guy wears Adidas socks with Nike shoes, and I'm like, I just don't want to hear it no more. Keep all of it, you guys. But shout out, that's the one thing I love about Kendrick. One thing I do hate about the discourse is I keep saying the same thing. Is Kendrick gonna have LA artists on his next album? And it's like, shut up.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is unfortunate in a lot of this beef and him feeding into the year of hate is that you might get the wrong idea. This guy loves hip hop. This guy has a lot of peers that he will big up. It's unfortunate sometimes when man, it's somebody like, I love this, but sometimes, man, listen, he told you, sometimes you gotta pop out and show up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes people talking crazy on your name, you gotta come out and respond. It's like that.
Exactly. It's like that. You did that, Phil.
It's really like that.
Great record, by the way, too. Feels like it came out 5 years ago, but I listened to Like That again this year, and I was like that is insane.
That verse still goes crazy. He's got a few of those, like, man, his verse on Family Ties, I still listen to a lot, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Family Ties verse is so fun. I love that song.
Nah, man. Nah, every time you talk about things that get me hype, like the fuck the big three line this year gets me hype, but nah. Telling the guy, man, nah, Fuck that single. Fuck that album. Burn that hard drive.
Burn That Hard Drive is one of the greatest hip hop lines ever. Burn That Hard Drive is so funny, you guys. Like, if you know, like, hip hop and where people keep their files, like, it's just so fun. And then the homie released a thing called 100 gigs, or like, this is what he was talking about.
Man. Burn that hard drive. Burn that shit. The ad lib makes it funny too. Ad lib comes by. Burn that shit.
Well, he thought it was a good idea to engage in battle with this guy. I still
You can't. You can't rap next to that guy, man.
No, he's insane.
This guy's a sicko, man. You can't mess with this guy.
Sicko mode. Leonard Aarons III said, "Don't be shocked or surprised if the diddler suffers the same fate as Epstein. Rich snitches fill ditches too, folks." That's
yeah.
tough
yeah. There was some talk about him being on suicide watch.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't want to see anything like. I don't want to see him go out like that, but it's got some nasty stuff attached to him, man. It's hard to be completely sympathetic of him.
Yeah, tough. I'm seeing that Cassie video. I'm like, hands off. Adam Legend says, "Like the fuse, my AEW tribal chief." One finger in the air.
What's going on, Adam? Appreciate you.
Anthony Cruz says, "You guys doing a meet and greet in Texas in 2025?"
We might be. We're still doing some discussions on it. Got to make something official soon. Somebody was just asking me about Arlington. I was like, yeah, sounds like a plan.
We're kicking the can around. We're definitely gonna be there, but I guess we had a little thing on if we should do Vegas or if we should do Texas. So I guess we just got to make whichever one official here pretty soon.
Yeah, gotta do that.
But yeah, we about to be out there, so get ready.
Yeah.
Anthony Cruz also says Reg would definitely be the wise man. I mean,
I don't know about that, man. If this guy's my advocate, he's put the battery in my back, and he's encouraged some shit that I shouldn't have been doing, man. Like, he has definitely been a bad influence. And, like, it's so funny because somebody called me after last week's podcast, and they were like, "Hey, man, is Reg cool?" I was like, "No, he's good." And this was one of the few times I was watching you escalate, and I was like, "I am not doing this with you." You and I have more than once where you've done something. I've been like, and it's on site too, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm not." It was so funny because somebody sent me a message and they were like, "Nah, I could see him getting madder. I could see you on the other screen, like, wait, whoa, hold on."
I will give it up to my friend. He tried immediately to be like, "Let's not do this," but I was like, "No, we're doing this." And
man.
Listen. Yeah, sometimes Paul Heyman would come in and be like, "Roman, you shouldn't do this." I'm not that. I'm like, "Roman, get this nigga."
Yeah. Everything's all right though, because it felt like a few days where it felt like you were turning up, and I was, as usual. Like, it don't have to be that, but listen, I'll inherit some beef, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I will inherit some beef.
No, I just it felt like there were some days there where people had me fucked up. That's it. I was like, I have to let these people know.
Yeah, I don't want to get into anything crazy, but sometimes it's like that, man.
That's it. That's all. I'm chill today. I've been in San Francisco walking a dog, seeing the sights. Like,
hey, man, it's not. Frankie Beverly playing.
Yeah, some Frankie Beverly playing in the background. Like, I'm not about that at all. And I've moved on. I'm done here.
Yeah, happy feelings.
Straight up. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go see the Locks. Come on, I can't be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Remember that show you were trying to see out there? They're having that show here in San Francisco tomorrow. Dog, I'm hyped. I don't care about that.
Yeah. I was so salty because I saw it announced and I was like, oh, that's the same day as All Out.
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't at All Out, so at least I'll be at the Locks. Got one over on Phil this time. It's gonna be very dope. 30th anniversary. Man. Devil Kazuya 27 says, "Will Halliburton wrestle in NXT? If yes, against who?" Tyrese Halliburton.
I don't see them using Halliburton there. I think if they use Halliburton to have him in a match, it's gonna be in the main roster.
Facts. This is a big time NBA star. Like they're
They're
gonna
not-
try to get some use out of this.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know with the CW stuff. Does things change? Are they put on them going to CW? Are they put on a higher level, or is it still the same developmental stuff? I really don't understand what's happening here. I guess is my question.
I don't know, because Sexy Red is coming back soon, apparently. They're trying to stack up some shows coming up because they're going to go head-to-head with AEW for Title Tuesday like they do every year.
Yes, sir.
And they've got the premiere coming up on CW. They're trying to stack that episode. Punk was down there, I don't know, doing some stuff.
Such a funny guy, dog. Will Two Phils be in the building? Have you thought about it?
Haven't made a decision on that, but I don't know, man. Julia versus Roxanne does look kind of good in Chicago.
I mean,
I've been making a joke for the longest that NXT has checked off a list of the three of us and was like, oh, the other guy, he works at that other place. But look, we got this going on in Denver, Ball Arena. You sure you don't want to come? No? You don't want to come? Okay. We're in Bakersfield. You don't want to come? No? No. Not that other guy. I know that other guy likes wrestling. Hey, you like Joshi wrestling, though, don't you? Like Julia? Hey, in Chicago, Rosemont, you sure you don't want to come?
You sure? It's good. It's going to be good. The Eden's going to be good over here. I feel like the Bakersfield show was like Becky and Tiffany Stratton in the cage or something. It was like a really good match, too. And I was like, I'm chill.
Yeah, they're like, Julia's gonna be here. You like Punk, don't you? You don't want to come? You sure you don't want to come?
A bunch of people you like gonna be here.
You like that Ethan Page guy. You don't want to come? You sure?
You don't want to hear Ego? You want to go hear Ego, Phil. I know you do.
Yeah, they've been trying to get one of us to come to one of these NXT shows. I've seen it, man.
It's so funny, though. Now, the coincidence of like Bakersfield, then Denver, then Chicago is hella funny, though.
All big shows.
Mm-hmm. All the big show. Van Twinblade said, Zilla out of GCW, headed to the Fed, or did he F around and find out?
So when I saw this, this kind of has that energy of that we usually get of somebody calling out of their indie bookings to get signed.
Yeah.
But there was also a vibe to it that was like, I don't know what it is about this, but I don't think that that's what this is. I don't think that this is him going to the Fed. I think this is something else.
Didn't the homie have the same issue with Booker T?
Yeah, there was something recently with Reality of Wrestling. And
they put out the same kind of statement. Reality of Wrestling was like, we're done with Zilla. Moving forward, he ain't on none of these shows. Don't think about him. Don't look at him. And so to add context, you guys, Zilla Fatu last night was supposed to be on a GCW show. The GCW Twitter page was like, going forward, Zilla Fatu's not a part of GCW. He's not going to be on any shows forward. We're moving on from him. And the language and tone seemed kind of, it wasn't like a best in your future endeavor. It was like, we're trying to move forward because shit's fucked up type of vibe. And I was like, I don't know what's going on over here. But yeah, like I'm saying, Reality of Wrestling put out the same kind of statement just a few months ago with Zilla, the same type of thing, but they pieced it up with Booker T. So I don't know any specifics behind it. I saw the tweet just as y'all did.
Yeah, I don't know specifically. I just was surprised at how many people were like, "Oh, well, he's going to the Fed." I was like, I don't know if that's what this is, guys.
The whole comment section was that, Phil, and I'm like, y'all are reading.
I don't know.
Pretty quickly into this.
Yeah.
Because like Booker T has a pull over there.
He does.
So like if you're beefing with Booker T and Booker T and they're like, hey, what about this guy? And Booker T's like, well, we did have that one thing. They're not gonna
No, Booker T said this week he too old to be beefing with people. He ain't beefing with nobody.
I saw your tweet, and Booker T is the funniest human on earth, dog.
I'm too old to be beefing with people. It's hilarious. I'm like, dude, we have the receipts. Like, wait a minute.
Got all the receipts, dog.
Hold on, man. And then also saying, yeah, we're too old to be beefing. I'm like, listen. Listen, man. I love Punk, man. But if I know anything about that guy, he be beefing.
I'm saying, dog, you saying he's too old to be beefing? He was just beefing.
We're too old to be beefing. It's hilarious.
Booker's funny though. I love politically correct. Booker's like, nah, man, what do you mean? I wasn't me. We're too old for that. He's Booker T is wrestling Shannon Sharp. That's who he is.
Bro, we just got a report this wasn't that this year when Punk got there and he called him a flip flopper to his face? Like
this year.
I don't okay.
But we're too old for that.
I hear you, Book.
Sorry, he's the funniest. But yeah, with Zilla, I don't know, man. I hope that honestly, I hope it is the Fed because I want him to not be any drama because like nobody needs that.
Yeah.
Especially when the gang's up there getting it in. Like, bro, you better get it together.
Yeah.
Grapple Geekery also says Denise is clearly the Jacob Fatu equivalent. Yeah, totally. Just come in and bash shit up. Then Deontay Soignier also says, all jokes aside, the last 3 months since my grandma passed been rough, but y'all made Saturdays easy for me. Very excited for wrestling this week. Appreciate you, Deontay. It's been rough for a number of people, and I know specifically in this situation with someone who also had a grandma pass, how rough it is out here. And so sending love out to you, always here to support, and your comments and things that help our podcast move forward are always greatly appreciated.
Yeah, appreciate you, Deontay. Condolences. Rest in peace to your nana. Hopefully everything is going well on your side. Glad that we can give you some entertainment in the midst of this.
Appreciate you. That's all of our super chats for now.
Okay, let's hop into some of these humper chats.
Y'all are dope.
Yeah, from the homie Orion Ben, he says, "Afternoon, Reg and Phil. For all the ladies in wrestling spaces, Kate, Cresta, Denise, Lyric, Stephanie, etc. Just know the rappers, sickos, SGS cult got your back. Now, in terms of wrestling, if Private Party doesn't come back as killers now, damn son. I don't know what you're alluding to with this thing with the women. Of course, all support to all of those women you named, but." Did something happen? Did I miss something?
Yeah, there's some drama.
There's always drama.
I wasn't fully into it, but some guys threatening some people on our channel and stuff. So I don't know anything about it. It's like in police hands now, so I don't even know if I can really talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Got pretty bad last night, I guess. I was just scrolling. I'm like, what's going on here?
All right. Everybody calm down. Speaking of Denise, I will be hosting a post show for Raw on Monday with Denise.
Yes, let's go.
I will be in to replace Mr. SRS.
Anytime my friends get together, I love it. They troll me sometimes, and I believe they won't do it this time. So, no doubt.
It's mostly Denise.
It's definitely mostly Denise. She loves it, and it comes back on her every single time.
From Tyrone Kid, what's up, bros? Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. After seeing Zaya and Wendy Chu match on Twitter, it would be dope for AEW to bring the Mae Young Classic tourney style back. The statute of limitations is up, so let's let the female workers get making cinema. Statute of limitations is that makes me think of crimes.
So. Right?
But yeah, I would love a women's tournament, regardless if it's like a version of the C2 for the women or if it's something different. I would love for them to just bring that eliminator tournament back with the Japanese bracket and the American bracket. Just something like that. Even if you want to do a Japanese bracket, maybe do a CMLL bracket and then do an American bracket too. I think that would be fire.
Yeah, it's just like the men have been having such great tournaments in AEW. Of course, the G1. Like it's time for the women with the roster that they have and can put together would be amazing with working with different promotions and all that. I think it's about time that they do a big tournament. And I'm ready for it.
Yeah. from the homie Tony P. He says, this week made me feel like we are all in a simulation, and the operator is just throwing wild shit at us now to see how we react. I am expecting ET to randomly pop up any month now. From personal shit to politics to entertainment has been crazy. It contenders phase on love and Umar taking L's with their takes and Diddy, black leaders sliding into racist congresswomen's DMs, crazy ass trans loving transphobic black Nazis uh, of the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, Chris Brown skeleton saying hello. Make it stop. Yeah, I saw a bit of the phase on thing. I try not to pay attention to phase on because why are we listening to this man?
Phil, why do they keep talking to this guy?
Yeah, big time hater. He's got a bunch of horrible takes on everything. The Umar thing did not surprise me. He's another one where I'm just like, guys, why do y'all keep listening to this man? When he was on that thing, he was like, these hip hop artists don't do nothing for the community. They don't make no schools. I'm like, dude, you have been proposing building a school for years. Where's the school at, dog?
Where's the school? Every time he says something, it's about the school and what people don't do, but he's also not doing it at the same time. Yeah, I scroll the timeline and see those two guys. I'm like, why do y'all keep talking to these guys? Like, you know what the takes are going to be, but I know why they keep talking about them because then everybody responds to it.
Yeah, it's the
Works
it is what
every
it is.
time.
You get certain people and you get clicks off of their name. The Michael Eric Dyson, I think that's the guy that got caught in DMs, which I was a big fan of his work at one point. I have his book. He's one of those guys that's very intelligent, also a big fan of hip hop. Is a great analyst of the culture in a lot of ways, but he's another one has had some allegations on his name for some time. So this DM thing wasn't that shocking because he had allegations on his name before that. I was surprised when I saw a thumbnail of him on Breakfast Club. I was like, wait a minute, you sure you want this guy up there? Didn't he just have some allegations attached to him? But all right.
They talking to a bunch of people. I'm like, are y'all sure?
Yeah.
But it's that time of the year, and these the climate and the clicks and the trolling and I'm like, I see a bunch of videos. I'm like, what is this accomplishing? It's like they're talking to the worst horrible politician in the world and they're trolling them. I'm like, what does this really accomplish? Like, oh, she ate, and I'm like, that doesn't. What does she ate do?
Yeah. Which, speaking of, have you seen this video of that guy that made the song of Trump doing from the debate?
Mm-mm.
I'll send it to you later. It's very funny. It's the clip of him saying that they're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Very funny. It's a guy that he's got like this very like almost Jamaican beat behind it, and he's like singing. It's very funny. Very, very funny.
There's too much news, man.
Very, very funny stuff. But of course, shout out to the Haitians of the world. Still not taking any Haitian slander.
Never. Shout out to all our Haitian brothers and sisters and peoples.
Yeah. Again, city of Chicago was discovered by a Haitian man. Mm-hmm. Not accepting no Haitian slander.
No, not around here.
No. From Tony P. He says, hell, y'all had to fight the dumb Brits. Y'all had to fight off the dumb Brits that don't understand American politics, lying as starting shit from burners and SAG grifters putting their nose into business when shit was dealt with. Yeah, that was a very, very weird exchange of me legitimately trying to go, no, it's no problem. I don't dislike you. We don't have no beef here. And then somebody else coming in with some energy like, try me. And I was like, dog. Nobody was talking to you.
Try me. What's up with that energy? Why everybody, dog? We are not about to fight y'all.
Listen, man. Let this be a lesson. Listen, let this be a lesson with what I told you guys to open this podcast and watching my dad get out there and try and run a race against a kid that is way younger than him. Sometimes you can chill out. Sometimes you need to understand your limitations, understand your lot in life. And a lot of us are grown men. You're not fighting nobody, dog. Calm down. Keep that energy where it is because I just don't entertain that. I'm good. Don't let's not do that. Let's
Not
let's
entertaining for me.
let's not do that. You we don't gotta cut a promo. It's all right. Cut your phone
Dog,
off.
put your phone down.
The day when Homeboy cut that promo on Ricochet, I was like, dude, listen, it's okay, man. You can just cut your phone off. It's cool. You can cut your phone off, put it in your pocket, maybe go outside and drink some water, like get some sun. It's cool.
This guy blocked me, and now I'm. Are y'all okay?
It's that was a very very weird day, and I, as usual, tried to make some jokes about it, and then he proceeded to go, man, you better move on. I'm just like, what you gonna do if I don't? Like,
The threats are always so funny. What if I don't? What you gonna do? You're not gonna do shit.
yeah, I don't know. I just think this is a wild thing that happens where people, and it happens a lot on the internet, where people will just start talking crazy, and then they think, oh well, you're just supposed to just let that go, though. No, I'm not. If you're talking crazy, I can tell you to shut up.
Easy. And this is what you're gonna do. Make burner accounts and troll me from a burner account. That's the most that you're gonna do.
Hey, dog, shutting up is underrated, man. It's all right. Sometimes you can just shut up. It's all right.
Shut up.
And I think that about myself as often as somebody that's very opinionated. I say to myself quite often, "That's all right, Phil. You can just shut up. It's cool."
Listen, sometimes we talk for 4 hours on a podcast, and I'm like, look, all of that didn't need to be in there.
No, sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's okay to just not say that. It's cool. It's sometimes cool to just stay in your lane.
Facts.
More from Tony P says, at least we got a new Ghost and Meth song and a video of Juicy J doing jazz rendition of Slop on My Knob. If you haven't seen that, tremendous. Like absolutely tremendous. If you guys have not seen this, I'm telling you, go and look it up now.
I don't know what side quest Juicy J has entered into, what universe we crossed over into, but when I saw him doing Slav on My Knob, the jazz rendition, I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm into this. It's great. It's amazing. Like I love it, and it's a natural transition for a musician like Juicy J. But like the song, it's just Slav on My Knob.
Crazy.
So good.
But yeah, Tony says it was perfect. As for Petty a Week, sadly, I hate to award this to the congresswoman who blasted Dyson in a live committee meeting. Y'all can choose someone else though. Yeah, no, that video of her with the printout of the DMs, it was definitely one of those things where I was like, I shouldn't be laughing at this. Don't laugh at this, Phil. But I could not help it. It was very, very funny to me.
Insanely funny.
The incident around it and everything is not funny, but just the idea of her in this hearing with the DMs printed out was very funny to me.
But yeah, my petty of the week is definitely going to be this guy went down 50 Cent. 50 Cent has been going insane.
I saw someone tweet when he was tweeting all these things at Diddy, and they were like, man, with every year that passes by, I understand why he got shot so many times. I'm like, dude, I don't think you can say that.
You cannot say that. That's crazy. But also, 50 Cent be talking. He's the craziest talker in hip hop history, dog.
Yeah, man, one of the biggest bullies and trolls in the history of hip hop, man. Just
he's on like Drew Barrymore's like syndicated show getting his shit off. I'm like, this guy is the most petty guy in hip hop history, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely him. He's definitely petty of the week. From Van Twin Blade, he says, movie idea, John Wick 1 style movie called Sundown, where a black World War II medic gets trapped in a house with his white World War II buddy and his buddy's family. When the Hicks come for him, anti-racist catharsis ensues. Hey man, get to work on this screenplay, man. What you doing?
Man, I got some ideas over here.
Yeah, I can't say that. I don't listen. I don't want to punch that up because listen, I've seen how these things go. Somebody be like, "Yeah, hey, this is a great idea for something," and somebody be like, "Yeah, that is a great
That is a
idea."
great idea.
And then it happens, and then years later, man, I was supposed to get my cut of that.
Yeah, that was mine. I think. You fuck
That
with
is
your idea.
us. That's you fucking with your idea. Hey, yo, you fucking with your idea? Um,
After it's already done.
yo, you see this? You fucking with this?
Yes, I was when I created that.
What I told you it might be a good idea. Yeah, I am. Um, which speaking of Grapsody lore, it's so funny. I was just talking to a friend of the show, Emilio, on the phone, and at one point I was like, "Yeah, there were people, including my co-host, that were surprised that I knew all the names of the Saint Lunatics." I was like, and he was like, "Why would you know that?" I was like, "Why wouldn't I know that? What do you mean?" And so that leads into relevant news because they're all currently suing Nelly, for back pay on Country Grammar. Which, of course, if you know, you know, that is his highest selling albums, like his debut album. Big success for him, big success for the city of St. Louis and what he did for hip hop coming out of the city. But now all of those guys, look, man, City Spud, Ali, Key Wayne, Slow Down, Murphy Lee, they all were like, listen, we want our cut.
Dog, I'm so sad. I saw a quote that said, been lying the whole time, them talking about Nelly. And I was like, damn, man, that's not the way you want to go about this. Hip hop, as we've been having an amazing year, we've also been having a bad year of breakups and
Beef.
things, the beef that are just like, wait, the Saint Lunatics are beefing? What you mean?
Nah, they just want their cut. I was,
But they deserve their cut though.
yeah,
That album is diamond.
yes. So I can see why they're sitting around like, look, we had a lot to do with the making of that album, and we've been told that eventually we're gonna see some residuals, and we didn't get that. So you eating good. You've been eating real good.
Really good.
Yeah. But it's sad to see those things happen where it has to go to court, or because that's what's sad about this Neptune thing with Pharrell and
Exactly.
him and Hugo are not getting along. That he just said in an interview they're not speaking. It's just sad, man. I wish you could handle these things behind closed doors.
And it's like I was listening to that. I brought up this P Rock and CL Smooth thing because at one point Nori's like, "Can you guys get back to get? Can you guys do this? All we don't care about any of the backstories. We don't care about the beast. We don't care about that. We just want to hear these legends that we lock together." But then like CL Smooth's like business, and you're like, "All right,
Yeah. Unfortunate, man.
yeah,
Very, very unfortunate.
man." But that's what all these are: Chad and Pharrell, business. This Saint Lunatic shit. It's all comes down to money, and like it all started before the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they can settle that. Let's see. More from Tony P. He says, the funny thing about that Punk promo is how everyone is saying that he was using the brawl out voice to scare Drew. LOL. As for the rest of Raw, it was exciting at points, but nothing special. I mean, you had some good matches, but it was a very basic show. He continues. I must say one thing though. Jay hit that spear clean. Also, where are we going with the Pure Fusion Collective? That's the name of the group, right? By the way, you think a possible loss to Damage Control will be the start of the end of Jade and Bianca? If so, I have a wild theory then that isn't too crazy. Just hear me out. He goes on to say this may lead to Bianca Bailey versus Jade Naomi match before WrestleMania. I am feeling this because I don't think Naomi is beating Bailey, and those two lose the tag titles. It can start friction, especially if Bianca takes the pin. I don't think that's where this is going. And just based on what we saw last night in that stipulation match that didn't make a whole bunch of sense, and just how close Naomi and Bailey are, I think we may possibly see Naomi and Bailey challenge for the tag titles.
I was like, that kind of feels like that's where this story is leading. Like they're building to a little bit of friction between Naomi and Bailey, but it feels like they're gonna get it together to challenge for the tag team championships. I don't know if that's gonna lead to all breakups of everybody, but I feel like that's at least what the match is gonna be, right?
I feel like that's where this is eventually going. I think that they are also building towards the women's War Games match. It seems like it'll be the big three teaming up with Bailey and probably one more baby face to take on. It's probably Michin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the big three: Bailey, Michin taking on Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, probably Chelsea and Piper, and another heel.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. But I do think that there's a chance we could, because I feel like there is a growing tension, and there has been since last year. Well, really, sorry, that was this year in the build to WrestleMania between Naomi and Bianca, where it's just like, you still fucking with Bailey? Didn't I tell you about her? You still messing with her?
Still, I've been telling you for like a year at this point. You're still in this. What's going on here?
Yeah. So I can see her, because it seems like out of everybody that has sided with Bailey since the Damage Control breakup, Naomi has been made a point like, no, that's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Bianca very much does not feel the same way. And it feels like at this point that Jade is riding with Bianca wherever she goes. I also have noticed they're doing something pretty cool in the building to what I assume is going to be Bianca versus Jade, because we got a fire. We got a fire women's match on Raw. Bianca versus Io Sky. Very, very good match. But it's continuing to tell this story that Bianca has struggled as a singles wrestler in 2024. She lost the Royal Rumble match, lost at Elimination Chamber, lost in the chance to go to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. And, she's lost some pretty big singles matches compared to last year, where she was completely dominant as champion, became the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. And this year, she has had some struggles in singles wrestling. Meanwhile, Jade has had the squash matches. She did not lose to Nia. She eliminated Nia at Royal Rumble, and Nia couldn't beat her. She won by disqualification. I think that is leading to one of them feeling like, hey, man, you need me. I don't need you. And that feels like Jade. I think the stuff with Bailey is leading people to believe Bianca could turn heel, but I don't think that's where it's going. Jade, of course, works best as a heel, and there's too much money behind Bianca as a babyface. I don't see her turning heel. I do think that Jade is going to turn on her. And the way I said that I would do it is get back to Royal Rumble, keep this tag run going all the way into next year, get to Royal Rumble, and Jade should be the one that eliminates Bianca out of the Rumble and takes her out of the running to win the match. And then afterwards, that sets up the rest of the split, and that could get us to WrestleMania season, where Jade says, I'm better than you. I've never needed you. You needed me. And at WrestleMania, I am going to be the first person to pin you at that event and end your WrestleMania streak. Simple, easy peasy. And Charlotte should be back sometime next year. I do believe if they do that match that Bianca is going to win and keep her streak. And she's been saying for about 2 years now that she has some claim to the title of Miss WrestleMania. There's only other woman that has been calling herself Miss WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair. That gets us to WrestleMania 2026.
Wow, look at Phil's booking the whole thing out. Look at that. You on the payroll?
No, but I do think that that's a simple enough story to get both of those matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I like the story of Bianca can't get it together as a singles wrestler, because that can also be a side story of like, not that I've been wasting my time over here with this tag team, but my focus hasn't been in the right place. Like, I will still want to be world champion. I still want to do this. And I've been over here doing this tag team stuff. I need to get it back to being a single star.
Yeah. I would, Jay, I agree. I think that they should have done Bianca Rhea at some point before this. But I do think that Bianca Jade is going to happen at WrestleMania. And Bianca has talked about how much she wants the Charlotte match. And that's really the last big horsewoman match that she hasn't had yet. That feels like a big WrestleMania match. Both of them have a streak of great matches at WrestleMania. It just makes too much sense to do it there.
They got to get to the Bianca and Rhea match. So they should have did it when they did the Royal Rumble, where they were both sitting on the apron at the end. That was the time. Like, they were hot at that point. I mean, they were trying to establish some other things, I think, with both women, but I still think they could get back to it eventually. Like that's a major mega match that's still sitting in the wings, and I hope it does happen one day.
Yeah. The other thing that happened on Raw, is this New Day stuff.
Mm.
I'm into it because I think for a while they haven't been doing anything interesting with New Day.
Yeah.
I think the teases they've been doing of them splitting up all year have been pretty good. It just doesn't seem like we're on the same page. Kofi will make a plan, and Xavier's in a completely different direction. They're not communicating the best. Even their gear right now, Kofi's got the Green Lantern gear, and Woods is wearing Black Lantern gear.
Mhm.
And that's also to show that he is going the darker route. They almost had a third member this year, and a guy that we don't talk about anymore. How fast that turned and how fast that changed, but that played into the story of Kofi going and getting somebody, and he didn't talk to Xavier first, and just the idea of anybody ever replacing E, and all the stuff they did. They challenged for the tag titles last night. Boy, it's been a minute since we've seen a tag titles match. This was Judgment Day's first defense, which sounds crazy.
That's insane.
And I mean, when you really think about it, there has not been a tag title match on pay-per-view since WrestleMania.
Very interesting. Consider what we're going to get to in this show here later.
Yes. But I really like the emotion that they put into this. Coming into the match, we got two different backstage segments. Woods was talking to some people and was like, don't get involved. We just want to handle this. We know Judgment Day is going to try to interfere, but we can do this on our own. Turns out LWO came out to help them, and it may or may not have cost him the match. And Woods was furious because he was like, we didn't need your help. And Kofi's the whole time like, no, man, thanks for having our back, guys. And he's just looking around like, what are you talking about? Like, we didn't talk about this. What are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, I told them. And he's like, were you ever going to tell me? Like, what is the communication? And they had this back and forth that was very, very well written. Very emotional for me. I was like, no, guys, stop fighting, stop it. Like these are two guys that their entire time as New Day was built on positivity. If you know your New Day lore, Woods was the guy that recruited Kofi and E, and so he, in a lot of ways, has been not the leader, but he was the guy that brought these guys together and made suggestions. But at the same time, those two guys have had success that he didn't have.
Yeah.
All the way to, it took a while into their time as a group for him to be a part of the team that won the tag titles, not help defend them. Because that was a big storyline at one point, that he was, for the first time, he was on the winning team when they won the belt. But also, E and Kofi have been WWE champion. And so I felt it in my gut when he was like, man, we needed help because we don't have E. And Woods goes, that's it, right? You just have me, right? And I was like, oh no. And I could feel it in my gut where he was coming from, because it was like, no, you think we need E because you guys are ahead of me. And you can see his insecurities coming out, and it's like, oh no, don't. The idea of a New Day breakup just really hurts my soul. They cannot stay together forever, but not like this. I just don't want them to break up like this, man.
Not like this, but it's been 10 years of New Day, a New Day being a team at this point, and I just think it's time. I don't want it to be like this either, but I think this is the most interesting thing that either one of them have been in years at this point. And if like a great story and feud is going to come off the backs of it, then I'm all in,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like E is coming back.
I don't think
unfortunately. He's living his best life. Good for him. He's in good health. He's in good
I wouldn't want to
spirits.
come back either. You see this great time I'm having, y'all leave me alone.
He's in good spirits. He's in good health. He's got a new boo thing. Good for him, man.
Shout out to E.
I get it. I do think they've got to make a decision with these two guys. If you're not going to give them another run as a tag team, do something to send this group off in a good way, even if they split up amicably at the end of this. Um, I feel like you've got to do something, but they deserve a good send off. They deserve a good storyline to end this. Um, but yeah, I did. I was like, oh no, it's like, stop fighting, guys, stop it. But yeah, you could see the hurt in Wood's voice when he was just like, you just have me. And I was like, no. Yeah, I hate to see it. Woods is a very funny guy though. That video that he took at the airport, did you see that?
Mm-mm.
He tweeted at one point about him eating pulled pork in the lounge at the airport, and he had like a white hoodie and sweatpants on. He was like, "Yeah, very brave move on my part, but I'm gonna do this." And he comes outside, and Kofi's in the car waiting for him, and he comes on me, comes out, and he's like, not a drop on it, not a drop on it, dog."
It sounds hilarious, and he's been doing some tweeting and some cryptid things this week. I don't know what he got going on.
Yeah, sad. Come on, man. Don't let Karrion Cross be the guy to split you guys up, man.
Come on.
Don't let this
That's
happen.
The guy that's gonna do a Phil Karrion Cross.
You're gonna let Karrion Cross be a wedge driver. We can't let that happen.
Wow. In the history books, we're gonna look back and be like, oh, Karrion Cross is the reason he got in Woods' head. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, so love out to the New Day. You know how we feel about the New Day as a podcast. If they went on forever, I'd be just as excited. And love out to the homie E.
Yeah, the last thing I want this to do is lead to like a one-on-one match between Woods and Kof, and these guys break up that way. I do want to see Woods get a singles title run.
Definitely.
I think he's way overdue. Even if it's just Intercontinental Champion, I think he's way overdue. And if this storyline is just about him feeling like he has to go out on his own and prove himself, I understand that. I just don't want to see them split up in a negative way. That's the last thing I wanted to see. And some of it just feels like the injury stuff and everything. It's just like, man, just unfortunate stuff keeps happening to them. I'm still very upset that Kofi never got a rematch and never got a run at the WWE title again. I still hate how E's title run ended. But, legendary stable. They've had an incredible time together, have accomplished a lot. I just want more for them. That's all.
New Day. What a crew. Shout out to Kofi. Still doing it. They're still at a high level. They're still out there. And I'm excited that they're at least given something. They carried the tag division for so long. Like, they deserve to continuously get flowers,
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, this is all interesting television, so I can't be too upset with it. It's just pulling at my heartstrings every time they do it. I'm just like, stop fighting.
Damn.
It's gotta be like for some viewers when they tuned in and we were arguing about the Seth Rollins thing. It's like, don't stop fighting.
Stop fighting. Y'all are friends. Don't break up. Never.
Nah. You're not gonna split us up over some wrestling takes? Never.
They try though. Y'all are funny.
They be trying to say we're beefing. There was at one point where people like really thought me and Will don't like each other. I was like, no, it's my guy.
Hilarious.
It's my guy.
Shout out to Will Washington. What a guy.
Yeah.
You saw his little Fox Sports 1 cameo?
I did. I was chuckling to him standing in the background. Yeah.
So funny to see our friend back there.
Yeah. I talked to him the other day, and it's an interesting guy, man.
Very interesting guy.
A funny guy, man.
The funniest.
Yeah, and I guess also it kind of feels like you say, it kind of feels relevant. One of our guys in our trio left, and people are like, "Oh, what does that mean for you guys?" It means that we're about to keep rolling. Sorry. Oh, y'all thought the time slot was gonna open for you? No, sorry.
You gonna get this one?
You gotta find you another lane. No, we created this time slot. There is no there was no Saturday time slot. We created this. Oh,
And you can't have this.
you can't have it.
Mm-mm. Maybe come take it. I'm trolling, you guys. Everybody, relax.
You might get some more of that pull up talk. And
Yeah, no, I'm just trolling you guys. These are all jokes.
some people can't take a joke, man.
They can't. All these bits seem real.
Some people can't take a joke, man. Sometimes I be thinking things is hella funny, and people be like, "Nah, are you serious?" I'm like, "No, not really." But
Not at all. Why would I be serious? We're talking on the internet right now. Why would I be serious?
yeah, that is we get some more humper chats. We got any more super chats? What are we doing?
Just the one. Hey, what's over there says 1,000 baby oils are supervillain level of diabolical. 1,000 baby oils.
Somebody had to count all of those bottles of baby oil. That's crazy.
That was somebody's job.
Mhm.
Like bad boy baby oil bottle counter.
Don't can't stop, won't stop, bad boy. don't.
You can't, man. He ruined the whole like dog. Why'd you do this?
King Combs, bro. That record when it first came out, I was like, no, this is kind of hard. Now the further I've gotten away from it, I'm like, you sure?
Are you sure?
He might want to chill out, dog. It's cool.
Chill out. Nasty situation all around. But yeah, that's it. Nope. We got another one. Tenruza says, did he somehow involved with the Biggie end? With the new TV deal, hope we get Rick Ross, etc. back on AEW TV. Can't wait for K-Dot at Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's been the rumor for a lot of years that he had something to do with Biggie's demise. This stuff is probably confirmation for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people that were like, well, Pac is somewhere in heaven looking down like I told you about, homeboy.
This fool continuously said something like, nope, I don't like him. Here are all the reasons why. And everybody's like, you're just being crazy. And then it comes out like he wasn't being crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty nasty. Yeah, K-Dot at the Super Bowl is going to be great, though.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to him dropping some more music. What a year for him, man. Crazy year. When you look at all of the big records he's had this year and doesn't have an album out, it's pretty crazy.
Cali boys are way up. No big deal.
You know, I ain't gonna say anything, but you know, we had the Lupe album. We had the Common album and shit.
Nah, y'all up to hella people. Like, people are already starting composing their year-end list, and like hella people are like, the Common and Pete Rock album is the best album of the year. So
yeah, Chance back outside, man. Saba's touring, man.
Dude, Chance is rapping at an extremely high level. It's every time he puts out something new, I'm like, okay, Chance, dog, leave some raps for the rest of us.
Yeah, somebody asked him recently about working with Tyler and Donald, and he was like, yeah, of course.
It's interesting that he hasn't worked with Tyler, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a label thing or not. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're never getting that Donald album.
No. It's like when people are asking for the Kendrick and Cole for it. I'm like, if it's been more than 5 years, get over it.
We definitely not getting that now.
We're never getting that. I don't think we ever were, honestly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun bit to have. Like, let's continue this bit for a while where we say we're going to put this album out.
Yeah.
Would have been hard, though.
Would have been a moment, but it's what it is. Get some more into these humper chats. We got some more from Tony P. He says, so we got Deeb, Queen versus Mariah May and Yuka. Soon to be Mariah May versus Mina. Sure seems like that's the direction we're going. We got Saraya and Jamie and Marina and Blackpool Combat Club. I'm wondering what is next for Sheeta, Willow, Stat, Anna, and maybe Ty. I feel like Rosa may have been next for Monet, but she got injured. Yeah, I wonder what was next for Rosa before she got injured. Very interesting that we haven't seen Mercedes on TV for the past 2 weeks. Uh, Maybe she's just taking some time off. It's just interesting that they don't have anything for her going into Grand Slam.
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused as to why you're having a big show and Mercedes has been featured pretty heavily on everything since coming in, that she doesn't have a big match. I thought that was super interesting. You know, it was also super interesting. We just talked about on Ask Grapsody. Somebody was asking us about the Diona faction. And last night on Rampage, they moved forward with it a little bit. Diona did a package where she was talking about, just how talking about the game, and Taya Valkyrie showed up with her. It seems like they're moving forward on a little faction with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool. It's kind of been disappointing that they didn't have more for Ty from Taya. I was about to say Ty. We don't want to get them mixed up. Taya, not Ty. So yeah, I hope that this leads to something with them.
Hopefully. They both need it. Enter everybody into this tournament, where this invisible tournament we're talking about. Everybody we're talking about.
Tournament.
Put them all in.
But yeah, this thing of ours or this thing of ours. For Tony's super chat, I thought the Yuka stuff this weekend was great. I thought the tag match we got in Dynamite was very good. Very much saved that first hour of Dynamite for me because, boy, I don't know. He was definitely trending in a direction. I was like, this is not hitting for me. But the tag match was good.
Why'd they do that, Phil? Why'd they start the show like that?
I don't know. But the tag match was good. I enjoyed the women's tag match. Very excited for Yuka versus Mariah May at Grand Slam. I thought there's been a few weeks where the Mariah stuff has not really been hidden for me. I thought that segment at All Out was not good. And some of the stuff after that was just like, okay, man, let's get back to some of the energy.
What are we doing here? Get to it, you guys.
But yeah, this idea now, like she went to Japan and she's had this big feud with Toni Storm. Toni Storm is away. But I thought the Mariah promo that she cut after Dynamite was very good. I think the prospect of a Mina match is also dope. Mina said she's coming back. So it sure seems like that's probably going to be the Wrestle Dream match.
Yeah, it feels like Mariah just needs something. She was just kind of existing for a few weeks and it was weird. But I liked the work that she did in the tag match, kind of being like, what am I doing in this tag match? I'm above y'all and I'm going to kind of do my thing because I'm leading to something else. I thought that was really good work and the promo was fun. But yeah, a couple of these weeks I was like, damn, Mariah was involved in the hottest story in the company at one point. And why isn't it still like that?
Yeah. I think this mini feud with Yuka is a step in the right direction. Very good to see Yuka on the timeline again.
Yuka looked awesome in the match.
Yeah. And then also it was cool to see even more with developments with the Mina Shirakawa thing. So very excited to see where that goes.
Great promo by Mina too, also.
Yes. Enjoyed the Mina stuff. But yeah, there are a lot of stuff building with the women. I am curious to see what they're going to do with Willow when she eventually comes back and what's next for Statlander.
Me too.
See more from Tony P. He says, also on top of the other projects I am sure she has, that is why she's been off TV as well. I'm sorry, I think that is in reference to Rosa. It says, speaking of projects, Joe does some awesome side quests about Grand Slam. I kind of expect something to happen before the Nigel Bryan match, which Reg will love. Before the Nigel Bryan match, which Reg will love. Yeah, shout out to Joe, man. Joe's in a video game coming up.
Dude, Samoa Joe is really living his best life. He's like having an amazing wrestling career still, but everything he's doing outside of it might be even more amazing and setting up for his future. It seems like all things he's really has been interested as in his real life is kind of coming together for that. It's really dope to see.
Yeah. Got a handful of more Humper chats. We're gonna move into some more topics. The last few from Tony P. He says, I feel part of this is a callback to when Nigel couldn't wrestle Bryan and New York crowd booed him. I won't be shocked if Nigel bring this up before the match and starts a Grand Slam and twist it on Bryan. Yeah, I thought the Nigel segment this week was great. I think everything they've done with Nigel since he challenged Bryan has been really cool.
Yeah, I'm loving the promo this week was really awesome. Him still trying to. I was asking Denise, I was like, does it take away that Bryan isn't here to be on the other side to kind of tell a story? But then in that saying that, I convinced myself like, well, Nigel has been kicking this guy's back in for the last 2 years. It feels like every time he mentions Bryan, it's hate. And like Bryan hasn't, as a character on AEW, mentioned Nigel at all. Like he hasn't,
No.
like only time he's talked about him is when somebody in some interview has asked about it. But like as a character, it's been a one-sided thing. And it to continue to kind of be a one-sided thing, I think is telling the story even more. And I kind of like it, you know?
Yeah. It's like he's but it's like he's booing from the stands. You know the world's out to get him. So why don't you give him a chance? Nah, he's been he's been hating on him pretty hard since he got the job doing commentary, calling him a clam digger and a bunch of other things. So, yeah, I love that he's still on this almost this Ziggler thing of it should have been me. You got this chance to do all of the things that I dreamed about. I had to give up my career early, and you're one of the most famous wrestlers in the world. That should have been me. I should have been there, and I am going to beat you and prove why it should have been me. Don't get much simpler than that.
That's it. Yeah, it should have been me. That's the story of a lifetime. And some stuff has come off of this. I don't know if Nigel's in character or whatever, but he's like, they were asking him what happened with this career, and he was like, essentially WWE didn't want to sign me because I had an arm injury. I didn't want to go back to TNA because I had a very tumultuous ending over there, and Ring of Honor wasn't popping at the time, and AEW didn't exist, so I didn't have anywhere to go. So I just stopped essentially, and I was like, it's kind of crazy to think about, like how AEW has changed the landscape of pro wrestling, where guys like Nigel can continue to have a career. Specifically, I bring up a person like Eddie Kingston, who was gonna also retire, but luckily AEW existed to continue on his amazing career. But there was a time when that wasn't a thing. Like if a guy wasn't gonna get into WWE, essentially he's like, I'm done, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate the role that injuries played in his career. But yeah, this is a once in a lifetime match. I'm glad that he's a part of Bryan's last year as a full-time competitor. I did not think that would ever be a thing we would see. Like imagine like years ago watching Bryan retire and thinking about Bryan's going to have this incredible run outside of the company where he goes to Japan and wrestles one of his biggest rivals from Ring of Honor. I would have never imagined that.
I would have said, what? No, he's not. He's retired. What do you mean he's going to wrestle Okada? What do you mean he's going to wrestle Nigel McGuinness in a different company? That doesn't even make sense. And now that's going to happen. It's insane.
Yeah. Also wrestled one of my favorite wrestlers in the world in Wembley Stadium.
Dog. Insane run. Wrestler of the year for me, brother. Wrestler of the year, Bryan Danielson.
Tony P also says, for the 5th anniversary, what other super match you think they're adding other than Will and Ricochet? Speaking of Rico, that match was beast. If they had any doubts or if he was washed, she shut that down. Overall, decent week of wrestling. Yeah, that was the big thing to come out of Dynamite. We are officially getting the match that everybody wanted to see from the second that it emerged that Ricochet was going to be a free agent, and the guy that was very much trying to get this guy to come over, the guy that was very much like, hey, what are you doing over there on YouTube? What are you doing over there on Speed? They're wasting your talent. You should be over here having banger matches with guys like me, and we're finally here. Ricochet versus Ospreay is official, guys. I like Tony P said, and I never really bought into any idea that this guy was washed. This Ricochet, man. Like this guy was just having great matches this year. I had a great match with Ilya Dragunov, one of my favorite TV matches this year. This wash talk is crazy, but he he came in straight away and he had a match that wasn't great, but it seemed like he got injured in that match. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but it seemed like he got his bell rung in that match. So I didn't take that as a good indication of what he could do with AEW.
No.
The matches he had since then have been great. I think the Mortos match was fire. Beast Mortos is one of those guys that's a lot of fun to watch. He and Ricochet had a banger. I'm a big fan of letting wrestlers wrestle a match and then coming backstage with the adrenaline from the match and cut a promo. And I thought that this was a great use of Ricochet because not only did he just have a fire match and he was like, you know, huffing and puffing like he just had the match, but he was getting his shit off too. He was talking his shit to Ospreay. At one point he told him like, yeah, everybody should be gunning for you in that title while you have the time to take a side quest and go for the tag titles, and people are coming for me. So let me be the one that comes for you since you were talking before I got over here, and let's have this match. I thought that was an excellent way to set this up. I know there are going to be people that are like, oh, why are you doing this here? Why won't you do it on a pay-per-view? I don't care, man. This is the match we wanted. Get to it. Like, think how many matches that were like dream matches. Oh, once this guy gets over here, we're going to get to this match. I mean, immediately in my head, Punk comes to AEW. Bryan Danielson debuts a few months later, and I'm like, yes, we're going to get this match. Never got that match. So, man, I'm not mad at all. Get to it. Just get straight to it.
Get to it, dog. We could do it again. We could do it a different. These guys could have 10 matches and they'd be 10 completely different matches. We can't sit and we can't wait. We've seen this situation before. Like, we should do this match. The one Phil just brought up here, Punk and Bryan, were like, damn, we should do this. We should do this. Never got to do it. Both of them are like, damn, we should have did that match after it's all over. You know what I mean? So we don't want to get to that situation. We've been talking about this match since 2015, essentially, of like, we need to see these guys one-on-one. We want to see them on the big stage. We want to see this. So, like, we got them both on the big stage. Let's have them go on the big stage. This Beast Mortos match was awesome. Even hearing Tony P say Ricochet is washed, I was like,
crazy talk.
Tony P's not saying that. I've seen people say that, like when they were like, oh, Ricochet got signed. Who cares? He's blah, blah, blah. If Ricochet stopped doing flips today, he still would be one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he still has flips to do to make, like, there's so many aspects of his game that he could do that, like, he'd have to stop wrestling to be washed is where I'm leading to. And this Beast Mortos match showed exactly what it was. This felt like a classic Lucha Underground style match. Like, if you're expecting that Ricochet, that Prince Puma style, 100 miles per hour, he's flipping, he's spinning, he's doing Hurricane Ranas, springboards. This was that match. Beast Mortos, one of the best bases in all of wrestling. Yes. Like, the way that he takes bumps and the way that he moves so fast. Like, sometimes I'm like, how does he, like, his size and everything, he's still moving 1 million miles per hour. This is exactly the kind of match Ricochet needed, especially if you're going to go backstage to challenge Will Ospreay. And just like Phil saying, yeah, he really got his shit off of, like, you have that championship, but everybody's trying to get a match with me, though. But I don't even have a belt. Like, well, that doesn't even make sense. So I'm going to be the one to challenge you for that championship. Let's do it on. They keep saying, why are they doing this match on a random? Dude, this is the 5th anniversary of their fucking show. This isn't just some random dynamite that they're doing. Like, they're trying to make this a big show. How do you have a big show? You have one of the biggest matches of the year right here on that show. I'm confused as to why people were saying that.
Yeah. And just happens to be the 3-year anniversary of this podcast. So thanks for the anniversary gift, AEW.
We'll really appreciate it. I like it. I like that.
But yeah, I'm excited for this match. With the year that Ospreay has had, the opponents he's had this year, this makes all the sense in the world. Sure, they probably could have waited and put it on a Wrestle Dream card, but I think that that's intentional. I think coming out of the tag match next week, and you're building the seeds of animosity between Don Callis and possibly Takeshita. This makes all the sense in the world. I don't think we're going to get a definitive finish to this match. I think it's going to build to something for the pay-per-view.
But like I was saying about these guys, I'm not even, like, I don't think it's going to be like when Punk and Drew had the match and it was like, well, we have another match, so we won't do as much. This match, they're still going to do everything in the fucking world because it's Ospreay and Ricochet. And like I said, if they had 10 matches, they could have 10 completely different matches. So it doesn't matter that they're going to do it too soon or whatever. Because if they have another match in 2 weeks, it's going to be awesome. If they have another match in 2 years, it's going to be awesome. It doesn't matter about the timeline of when it happens. I'm so excited that this is happening. Feels fitting that it's going to be on the Dynamite 5-year anniversary. It just makes a lot of sense. Excited about it.
Yeah. As for other matches we can see on that card, I'm not sure. It depends on what else we've got that they could potentially be building towards for Wrestle Dream. That's that same week. I believe that's the Go Home episode before Wrestle Dream, isn't it? Because what day is Wrestle Dream?
I think Wrestle Dream's on the 12th. I think there's another Dynamite.
Okay, so then. Yeah, but depends on what else they want to build for this pay-per-view. I would get a Mercedes match on that card because she's not going to be wrestling at Grand Slam, so I would try to get a big Mercedes match.
A big, I guess what happens with the result of this tag team title match this week, like get a big tag title match on the show because got to continue that momentum.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. People in the chat are reminding me Title Tuesday is the Go Home show, which is
Oh, right. Yep. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh, interesting one. That's gonna be something.
Yeah. Other matches. I mean, I think we should see the Young Bucks on that card.
Right.
Just 5-year anniversary, what they mean to this company. They should be on the card.
That's direct. That's the show right after Grand Slam, right?
Yes, it's the week after Grand Slam.
So would you run another Mox or Darby match? Either one of those guys?
I don't.
It's a 5-year anniversary. Like these guys should be represented, right?
I don't know. Maybe you do a Darby match, but depending on what happens at Grand Slam, I don't think we'll see Darby the next week because I do think Darby's losing that match.
I also think the same thing, but then you got to have like somebody from the new
Jack.
BCC.
Have a Jack match. He's a day one guy, one of the pillars of the company. Have a TNT title match on the card.
I don't want to say this about the young Jack, but I'm bored. Bored as hell. Like I see what they're doing. I understand what they're going for. Like I like the aesthetics, but it's not doing it for me at all. Like I think somebody else as the TNT champion would. Like I don't think he's adding anything to the TNT championship. And I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think? What do you mean he's not adding anything to it? He went smelted a copy of it and put some black paint on it. He dabbled some red paint on it. He put plenty on there. He's doing something for the title.
Maybe selling replica ones, but like for like the spirit of this championship, I'm like, listen, Philip Lindsey, a huge Christopher Daniels fan, but when he's wrestling Christopher, I'm like, bro, what in the hell are we doing here?
I don't know why we did that. Listen, I'm not bored because, as you guys know, I like Jack Perry.
Walked right into that one. Damn it.
I thought the vignette they aired for him of him with the bus and everything, I thought that was cool. But yeah, I do think they've got to get to like a big title feud for him soon.
Right, because I fucks with Chris Daniels, but we should not be seeing Jack Perry wrestling Chris Daniels for that championship.
Yeah, I'm trying to think somebody that they could put up against him. I don't know, but they've got to get him in a big feud. I think a lot of the elite stuff has really fizzled. I was sitting watching something this week, and I was like, boy, that whole angle has ended up being a pretty big flop.
Buster, a big bust.
But hey,
oh, you know what I saw when somebody brought up the clip of Jack hitting Tony Khan, and I was all, man, nothing happened out of that.
Yeah, what a oof. But it's a matter of a lot of stuff happening. Unfortunately, not being able to get Kenny Omega back in time to have the match with Okada hurt it.
Very unfortunate.
Because they needed a big hot baby face to go up against, and man, also watching the emergence of this version of Blackpool Combat Club, I'm like, man, they see how quickly they've become the best heel faction in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, They gotta ramp the elite, man. Like I like those 4 guys together, but that angle just it got hot and then it just immediately fizzled.
I mean, if we're getting into Continental Classic season and we're gonna let Okada cook in there, a lot of this perspective and perception of Okada can change. So that's
Yes.
a good thing. But the
I mean,
rest of them, like the Young Bucks, I think what they've been doing recently with the matches are more towards what I'm liking, but I still think there's something missing, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I just don't think the storyline has been hitting for a while.
Mhm.
At least since Blood and Guts, it has been pretty dry.
Super dry.
But that's not Jack's fault. I like because I like Jack.
Who could he realistically have a match with? Who's kind of in the running for a title match? We shouldn't have to think this hard.
Trying to think of somebody you can heat up right now and put in the TNT title picture.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of people you could. See, the problem is it can't just be anybody. He can have matches with anybody, and they're probably going to be
Definitely.
solid matches.
Yeah.
But I think with what he's doing right now, it has to be somebody that has the crowd behind him, and the crowd is going to get into the possibility of them finally getting a title win.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a lot of Garcia in the chat. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you can, definitely.
We gotta get through the contract situation to get to that point. But Garcia makes a lot of sense because of course people want to see him get that big title win,
right.
And having him go up against somebody like Jack. He's the exact opposite of Jack in a lot of ways. That makes sense. I'm kind of disappointed that Garcia is not a part of any of this Brian stuff in his final year. I think he should be in it.
Absolutely worst timing for all this contract stuff to be going on when like Brian's having this last run that he could have had a match or two or some kind of involvement, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, Garcia makes sense. I wanted to see Takeshita win that belt at Forbidden Door. I wouldn't be mad if he went up against Jack either.
Would you be? It's gonna be stupid. Darby loses to Mox, and then they run it back. He runs it against Jack. Hate it.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I think that's a roundabout way to get back to that. I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, I know. Everybody I'm thinking of has championships because I'm like Pac would be good, but he has a belt
for now.
For now, yeah. They already did the Leo match. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
They need somebody like that though, that you believe like could kind of beat him.
Yeah,
and I fucks with Chris Daniels, but he's not about to beat Jack. I don't think he's gonna win.
No. Yeah, there's some like I'm trying to think. Like there are a few guys
Ricky Starks
that are like Ricky Starks would be very interesting. He's a guy that makes a lot of sense as TNT champion. And that's a pretty easy storyline to do, I think. But the problem with that is the crowd going to be universally behind Ricky to beat Jack? I'm not sure if it would be.
I don't know what the temperature is like on Rick right now with the crowd.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm uncertain on that. But the story is simple as hell. It's just as simple as Ricky showing up one day and being like, "Hey, I've been off TV. I've been at home. I've been watching, and the guy that built this company, the guy that established that belt, that guy was one of my mentors. And so watching someone deface that belt is an insult to what he did for this company. It's an insult for what this company has built. It's just as simple as that. It's as simple as the reason for why he would challenge for the TNT title.
Nah, Phil's on his Booker Man shit today. He got about 3 or 4 of them in.
It's an easy build for Ricky, and I think a lot of people want to see Ricky win a singles title finally.
And I'm like, we keep talking about Rick, like, well, let's bring him back. But I don't really know what's going on back there. So.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Grand Slam's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that. 5-year anniversary coming up. Our 3-year anniversary is coming up.
Yes,
A lot to
sir.
celebrate.
Yes.
Let's see. The last one from Tony P. And then we're going to get in a word from our sponsors. He said, a question about Mina. You think Tony will try to get her on a dual contract like Takeshita? I think she doesn't want to leave Stardom and still do her thing internationally. However, I think Bushiroad won't go for like a DDT cyber fight did. If you've been following Mina, Mina has been trying to get to America for a while. I think once she's out of her Stardom contract, I don't see it out of the realm of possibility at all that she could get signed to AEW. I think
Right.
if anybody from Stardom that I think that they could get, I think she makes a lot of sense. When you look at the way that she's presented here as opposed to the way she's presented at Stardom, it's night and day. They've done great things with her, but she's treated like a big star over here, and she's
She
treated like
is.
an important aspect of not just Mariah lore, but a part of one of the biggest women's storylines in the history of the company. So yeah, I think that there is a very strong possibility that she could end up with AEW.
Yeah, it feels like AEW puts her on a higher level than some of the women they even have signed to them already. So I'm like, yeah, it feels like they treat her like a pretty big star here and would feel like a natural fit if that was the realm of possibility. They're already kind of carving that lane, so it's an easy transition. She's getting over with the American crowds even more every week. Like it would just be a perfect fix. So it would make a lot of sense for that to happen.
Yeah. That is all of our Humper chats at the moment. Like I said, we are going to get into a word from our sponsors. We're going to get into some more free agency talk because we got quite the interesting conversations coming out of this week.
BetOnline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
BetOnline.ag is the place to go for your sports betting needs, including pro wrestling. But as usual, only bet what you can, bet responsibly.
Please bet responsibly, you guys. Do not bet your house.
Gotta be careful, man. Don't want to be one of those guys that's like, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one that gets me out of red.
It's not. It's not going to be the one.
It's not.
Speaking of, did you see your homeboy before we get into these other topics? Your homeboy, Chicago legend, Michael Jordan. You see a picture of him with them yellow ass eyes?
He's lived a hard life, man. He's done a lot of celebrating. A lot of champagne has splashed into those eyes. You know. That's why they wear the goggles now, man.
These are some true facts that you're bringing up here, Phil.
That's why they wear the goggles now, man. Listen, that champagne burns, man.
I'm crying, dude. That's really funny.
The goat, man. I just saw that his house out in Highland Park is finally selling. That is a legendary house. It has the 23 on the gates. Colossal house, and of course, is absurdly priced.
I can imagine.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Tyson house. Remember how long it took for somebody to finally buy the Tyson house before 50 bought it? This thing,
it's like nobody normal or even rich people aren't gonna be this extravagant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that segue because you got into the GOAT right after we had a gambling segment. I was like, wait a minute, where are you going with this?
I brought it together because Jordan likes to gamble too.
Yeah, very competitive guy. Yeah.
One of the funniest NBA legends, or one of the funniest legends of all time. Just like his fits, his eyes, like
That IG account. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't even an IG account. It's a Tumblr account. That Tumblr account, Jordan, what you wearing? Classic, man. That and the Smokin' Jay. Have you seen that one? Smokin' Jay was a Tumblr account of former polarizing Chicago Bears quarterback Jay Cutler, and there are a bunch of pictures of people photoshopping a cigarette into his hand because it always looked like he had like this dour face.
He's always had that stressed out ass look.
Yeah, so there are like tons of pictures of them photoshopping him smoking a cigarette. So Smoking Jay was a thing, and I actually referenced it this week because Jay Cutler. Sorry, that was last week. The week of the Bears opener, because Cuddy was outside. He was at one of the games, and I was like, "Oh, Smoking Jay's outside, man." Like,
Smoking Jay.
Listen, man, there are a lot of Bears quarterbacks that very controversial. He's one of the most controversial, right up there with our guy that led us to a Super Bowl, Rex Grossman, aka Sexy Rexy, Sex Cannon, the legend. Couldn't get the job done, but what a run up to that point to get there.
Close one.
But yeah, let's get into some free agency talk because we got some big stories this week. We have not seen Miro on TV for some time, but according to some reports this week, Miro has asked for his release. That is, of course, you can find on Fightful Select for $5. $5. I can't even get a foot long for that no more.
You can't.
$5. Miro has asked for his release. I believe the word is that he is still on contract until 2026. I think it said spring of 2026.
So he got time, big dog.
He has some time left, and he has been gone for quite a while with injuries and everything. So there's a possibility of them adding some time off for injuries as well.
He could get to 2027 with how long he's been out for sure.
He could, yeah. So very curious to see how this goes. The Miro AEW run has been. It's been a weird one, man. It's because he's had good moments, like the TNT title run was fantastic.
The Redeemer.
Yes, the meat match, of course, was awesome with Hobbs. I thought that they had some more matches in them. I thought that could have easily turned into a series of matches.
Me too.
But it never felt like they quite had like this long-term plan with him. He's had some great matches. He's had some great moments. And it just feels like when you put him on TV, the crowd still very much likes this guy. He can get like the smallest thing over. He can still have good matches. So it just kind of feels like, what is the disconnect?
There's some wrestlers that it feels like there's some fans that treat AEW like it's WWE light. Like, and they're like, anything that they do over there will never measure up to this. Like, the measuring stick of what professional wrestling is that there are also some wrestlers that work for AEW who feel like that. I'm not saying any names. I'm not making any connections, but there's some people that it feels like they always felt like this is a secondary show, and I know what the big show could be. I know what the top of the top could lead to, and this is bullshit. All this bullshit. I don't want to take that. I don't want that. Nope. I don't like that story. I don't like this thing. I don't like this. Like,
you saying he's back there giving them the old Hall of Notes? I can't go for that.
Listen, that
no
song
can't do.
Continuously playing. It's like you gotta take some. Like I understand. Like, yes, every time he's on TV, he does it. But like, if you're turning down every story that you want that's offered to you, I know you can't get over it because you don't want to be on TV. And like, this is from hearing from multiple people. This is from hearing from multiple wrestlers. Like, this is stories that's been brewing, and it's like, well, this guy doesn't. It feels like this guy don't want to come to work, and I'm like, I don't know, dog. So for him to, this is where I get kind of, it's hard for me because it's like everybody's like, well, just release him, just do this, just blah blah blah. But like that sets a crazy kind of precedence for other wrestlers that are kind of present of like, I'm trying to get out of my contract. Well, this guy did this. Well, maybe if I just do the same thing, then it'll happen. Like it's just too much attached to it to be that easy of like, just let everybody out of their contract that wants out of it. And it's not as easy as that.
Yeah, like I said, had the TNT title run. He's had good moments. Started a little bit shaky with the best man stuff, but he eventually ended up having a pretty solid run. Then, of course, like you said, there have been plenty of rumors about him turning down storylines, turning down matches where he would have to put somebody else over. I don't know if there's a lot of truth to that, but there are an awful lot of people alluding to that or saying that. And so it kind of feels like where there's smoke, there might be some fire. And, you know, I immediately started perking my ears up when Collision was announced. And you know, it was the show for the biggest troublemaker in the company, and they were putting all the troublemakers over there. And one of the people on that roster was Miro. And I saw people like, man, why is it Miro over here? I'm like, I think they're trying to tell you why he's over there with those guys. He has something in common with the rest of the guys announced for Collision. Right. And so I immediately was like, that might be this, but gets over there on Collision, does a few squash matches, doesn't really lead to anything. Then we get the Lana stuff that was not good. And it kind of felt like he was trying to keep Lana close to him, so to speak. And then, you know, unfortunately, we heard the news about him getting the divorce and some of his personal stuff. And, you know, I think that that's part of him taking some time off. I know that there was an injury at some point. And it's just hard to tell how much of this is reality because, like I say all the time, we don't know these people. So I don't know how much of this is that he is an issue and how much of this is like, you know, internet rumors. I don't know. But I don't see him getting released. I know that there are people like, well, if you don't want to be there, just let him leave. And I fully believe sometimes you do got to cut your losses. With
some cases, 1,000%.
But this is such a tricky situation because I don't feel like they've gotten the best that they can get out of Miro. Mm-hmm. I think that there's still so much more that you could have done with a Miro run here.
Like this story and the Lucha Bros story, way different.
Night and day. This is it's unfortunate because I think a lot of people want to see him do well after the WWE run because, like I said, he was a guy that continued to, you know, make chicken salad out of all of these things that he was given. He made Rusev Day into one of the biggest things over there. He got super over. He did that multiple times, and it just seems like a very charismatic guy, a guy that can work, has a very dynamic look to him. He's still got a lot to offer, and I think as soon as he left there, people were like, oh, this is going to be it. He's going to come over here, and he's going to have this great run. And they don't have like a lot of big men in AEW that have done well either. Mm-hmm. So there is a spot for him. It's just it's just wild that it hasn't really panned out.
And you brought up the best point. Anytime that he's been put in a position, he's killed it. The meat match was insane. So good. Like he at one point he was one of the best promo guys in the whole company. Like he'd get 2 minutes and he'd knock it all the way out of the park. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, shoot, just like we were talking about with this Jack stuff, like, bro, if Miro showed up next week and said he wanted to challenge Jack at the next pay-per-view, people would be into it.
Facts. It would go crazy. The crowd would be going crazy. Everybody would be into it. It's just that it's just an unfortunate place to get to because, like, I feel like there's a Miro role that's missing. Like, we need you, and like the fact that he wants to leave is just kind of unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, all those kind of guys in that spot are in kind of like an interesting thing. Like Miro, the big homie Hobbs had an injury and into, you know, it not being booked properly as I think he should. Wardlow is looming somewhere, not being booked. It's like all the big meat guys. It's just kind of unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't think that AEW has really booked a great run for any of their big men just yet. It has the stigma of being the smaller guys company, and that's a big part of like the indie sensibilities that they had building this company from Ring of Honor and a lot of things. But Miro is a guy that I think could work here, and it's just wild that it just hasn't worked out.
Like Miro isn't even like one of them big like dumb, like he fits, like he can work, he can promo, he could do everything. It just, I guess Phil and I are just kind of say we just thought it was going to be a perfect fit. I guess like Miro's coming in here, he has the gimme, he has like everything, and it just confusing as to why it never really got to the point that it should have.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but we'll see. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be the turning point for him. Curious to see how this pans out. If he does get released, what does that mean? Is he going to go back to WWE? Where does he end up? Because it still has a lot to offer, I believe. Still incredibly marketable.
Charismatic. When he did when he was doing the streams, like you see why people are attached to him. Like he has something.
Yeah. Hopefully this gets worked out, whether that means he stays put or wherever this goes next. But I want to see Miro on TV because I do think he's still a great wrestler.
Easy as that, but 2 years, Phil. I don't know.
It's a lot of time, man, for you to be just like I'm ready to just peace out. Just cut me, dog. I don't think you could just hit the Freddie P on him. I don't think you could just come in like just cut me, dog.
Would you say you said something hella funny on Ask Grapsody that I'd have been thinking about Josh Alexander when TNA was like, we got plans already.
Like, no, look, I think I'm gonna go over here. Like, nah, dog. You got plans already.
You already got plans.
Nah, Miro. Like, I feel you. I feel you. I hear you. You got the DraftKings thing going on. That's dope. But bro, you still got plans over here. Like, I'm sorry. No. We got pizza at home, dog.
Yeah, wrap this up. Like, I see what you're saying. I see where you're going, but you got plans. Your bed is made in that room.
No. We got dinner at home, dog. I feel you. You want to go out tonight, but it's dinner at home, man. There's some pots on the stove, dog.
Some pots on the stove. For real, though. Like, I'm not just about to be feeding y'all my main dishes that I cooked over here. Is also needs to become a thing. Like, Miro doesn't necessarily fall into that, but there's like a lot going on, you know?
Redman, if that is that a true stat? 11 matches in 2.5 years? That's great.
11 matches?
That's crazy.
So, again, this is where I land, Phil.
But that's why I'm like, I
don't want to say do you reward somebody, but do you like you didn't do nothing for me? Why am I? What the fuck? What's happening here?
Yeah, Redman is now saying that is a stat that was from Wrestle Purist. Shout out to guys at Wrestle Purist.
It's not that hard to look up either. Like, look up cage match; it'll show you. And like thinking about it, I could probably name a couple of those matches. Like,
yeah,
damn. Like, what's your return on investment? Like, I mean, I guess I do see the other side. Feel like shit. Maybe just cut your losses. Like, what I'm paying you for nothing.
Yeah, but I also understand. Like, you're saying 11 matches. I don't want to reward somebody for that. Like, I get it.
Like, what? It's a hard place to be in. Like, I understand like both sides.
Yeah. And like you said, the Lucha Bros situation is totally different, which speaking of, we got the latest update in the Lucha Bros news. It seems apparent that they are going to be heading to WWE soon. I know that there was some talk of potentially Tony adding some more time to Ray Phoenix's contract. And there was some talk about, are they completely done? We didn't completely know their contract status yet, but it seems like based on the new report that they will be heading to WWE. I mean, it's bittersweet because like you said, it's not the same thing as the Miro situation. They've given us such great moments. They were such a big part of the foundation of this company. But it also feels like they could have done so much more with them as a tag team. They
Yep.
could have done so much more with those two guys as singles wrestlers. Like
Yep.
Penta has all the charisma in the world, and it's like, dude, you could have done so more with this guy. You could have made him international champion. You could have put him in a world title picture. You could have done tons of other things with him, and that's just as singles wrestler. I feel like they still had a gear as a tag team that we didn't get to outside of the Young Bucks matches.
Facts.
And so it's tough to see them leave the company in that way, but also when you think about them over there as a part of a big machine, and man, these guys, like, I feel like a lot of wrestling companies have been chasing the next Rey Mysterio for the longest time, and it's really like this elusive, super popular luchador that's probably never going to happen. You're never going to duplicate Rey Mysterio's career. You're just not. But Penta is pretty goddamn close, man. This guy is super charismatic. He's got a ready-made catchphrase that can be made into tons of merch, and that's one of those things that I did not understand. How AEW dropped the ball, how we didn't have Zero Miedo fingers, how we didn't have like tons of matches, masks and stuff to sell, how they missed the chance to make a lot of money with this guy. And that machine over there, they're gonna get to it. They're going to put this guy on the front of tons of t-shirts. They're gonna sell the mask. They're gonna have foam fingers. That side of it, the business side of it, is going to do very well over there. And within a company that could use a strong tag team like this, there's a void for them to step in. They're going to do very well in that place. But also, they're going from a company that at one point tag team wrestling was their bread and butter to a company that is never going to take tag team wrestling nearly as seriously.
There you go. What did you just say earlier, Phil? There hadn't been a tag team match on a pay-per-view in months, and they didn't care. They didn't care.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm like excited for Penta and Phoenix. Phil brings up a great point here. They've been chasing this Rey Mysterio dragon for years, forever. They tried to get every Mexican star in the world to come and duplicate this guy. When Penta was coming off of Lucha Underground, this guy was one of the hottest wrestlers in the entire world. And I thought AEW, I've been seeing a lot of that this week. That is the one huge mistake that they did, is not having Lucha Bros mask, Lucha Bros merch, Lucha Bros fingers. Like, they just missed out on a huge market that the WWE is not going to miss out on. And the difference is, this is a package deal over for WWE. Like, not only do you have one Rey Mysterio, you got two new Rey Mysterios. You know what I mean? Like, it's different.
You got a guy over there now. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. WWE has a lot of fantastic luchadors, has a lot of incredible Mexican stars. Like, big fan of Escobar, big fan of Dragon Lee. Those guys are incredible. They don't have nobody that can do what Rey Fenix can do.
No one is like Rey Fenix. This guy is one of the most dynamic luchadors in the whole world. Will turn a 5-minute match into a fucking classic. This guy is built different. Like, they fill such a huge void over there. And so, again, I'm excited, but also tag team wrestling is not a priority over there at all.
I mean, man, when you think about it, like, the idea of some things over there, if they really got to it and they cared about tag team wrestling, bruh, those guys against Street Profits, those guys against the Usos,
they got the pieces, Phil.
Even like the current not LWO tag team, but the
Legado del Fantasma.
Los Garza, man, that tag match could be hard. The Fraxian match that they could get out of that. There's so many matches that they can have over there as a tag team.
Even with the current tag team champions like Finn and JD is crazy. Like, if they get there with that, that's crazy.
The DIY match, like, they've got some
DIY match a lot.
They've got some bangers that they can have over there. It's just, I don't know that I believe that this company's ever going to take tag team wrestling as seriously as I want them to. Um, But man, I want these guys to succeed, man. The idea of those guys going to a bigger stage and, getting a system behind them that cares. I mean, also somebody saying in the chat, Motor City Machine Guns is probably going to end up over there.
Yeah, same
That
thing.
feud can be fire as well. But man, it's just like I said, it's bittersweet to see their run with AEW in the way that it did. I just wish that especially with where the tag division is, like
I was gonna say that's where I was kind of leading to.
it's like, man, they could have had a tag run this year that would have been hot. I mean, you were looking for somebody to take them belts off of the Young Bucks right now. It could have easily been them.
It's just that I think that's what makes me more sad about. Like, I'm so happy for Penta and Phoenix. They deserve it. They're incredible guys. They deserve to have a big moment. But it just shows the greater kind of issues that the AEW tag team division has, because I feel like we should live in a world that they don't want to leave because they exist in this tag team division where they're cooking all the time and they've been champions this many times and they're locked in. Like, they don't want to leave because they shouldn't have this opportunity because this tag team division should be that, and it's just not. And it's so unfortunate because AEW also has all the pieces. They also have Grizzly Young Bucks. They also have FTR. They got Top Flight. They got Private Party. They got a multitude of great tag teams that, if given the opportunity, could do it, but they don't. And they just lost a huge chunk of what made this company great. It's unfortunate, but again, guys are getting paid. I hope they get a big contract. They're going to get even more paid because people are going to buy their merch. So
Yes.
I guess it's going to be, this is a test. We talked about this earlier this year with Mercedes and AEW's women's division. It's like, this is a test for your women's division. If you bring this person in, you can't ignore what this represents. This is going to be a test for the WWE tag team division. You get Lucha Bros, one of the greatest Lucha brother tag team of all time, and also one of the other greatest tag teams in the history of tag teams in the Motor City Machine Guns. If you get these two tag teams and we're still on this bullshit, then we got to talk about it. You're going to be forced to show your hand now at this point.
Listen, Lucha Bros are in my opinion, one of the top 5 tag teams in the world.
Facts.
You can't just bring them guys over there and not get it right.
Nope.
And I'm seeing people say in the chat, like, what more did you want them to see from them? Because they did win titles, but I don't think their tag title run was good. I think the win itself was incredible. I think the match where they won was fire, but I don't think that the run itself was that memorable. I don't think that they had good runs as champions because of the circumstances around it. Like, the trios title run was cool because we got the series of matches with the Elite. That was a fun time period. But like Ray Phoenix's international title run was very forgettable, but that's because of injuries and other things. I just always feel like it was some setbacks that stopped them from really having the success as champions that they could have had.
My issue is the issue that you brought up. Like, all of it is surrounding the Young Bucks, and I fuck with the Young Bucks. Like, but what else was there for their runs? Like, what else did those tag team championship runs represent besides like the Young Bucks matches are some of the greatest tag team matches of all time?
Yes.
But there's just so much more they could have did with other tag teams is where I believe.
There's a reason why I say all the time, I believe that All Out is probably All Out 2021 to be exact. It's probably the best AEW pay-per-view. It's at least my favorite AEW pay-per-view. And Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks on that card was incredible. Mm-hmm. And just the energy that night of them winning the belts and everything, incredible. But I just feel like they haven't really had the moments that I would like to have seen them. That just still feels like there was another gear for them that they didn't hit as a tag team.
Yep, like they were in 4th gear the whole time, and the 4th gear was insane. They were fucking going crazy, but like that 5th gear was needed, and there's still like a void that's going to be missing. But yeah, they did definitely, like, the reason that I said it's way different than Miro is like they still do have the moments. They still do. They made their mark in AEW. They got their dollars. They are worth the investment, and they could be sent off to somewhere else and it feel like okay about it. It's just different.
Yeah, that's what, very different from the Miro run, because this isn't like they're asking for their release. They waited till their contracts were up, and then, they made plans to go somewhere else. Now there's some, rumors and some talking points about how they did it. But I don't think that it would have been wise to add time to one of their contracts at the end and kind of punish them for that after they had such a big part in your company's success. I don't think that that would have been the best thing to do morale wise. I think that would have left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Right.
And I think you were already going to lose them anyway. So you might as well just, you got to eat this one, man. Like, it's unfortunate, but you got to eat this one.
Damn. Lucha Bros, man. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's still a lot that if they do get it together in WWE, we could see some amazing shit in the tag team division in the next year. So that is kind of a nice little nugget to want to think about. But I mean, signs aren't looking great at the moment. But you're about to get two of the best tag teams, and you got to do something about it. Regardless, they're gonna get. It'll be just due and worth it for these four guys that deserve to have flowers and continuous moments and continuous respects paid to them. So in the end, I'm happy that the Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns are even getting this and getting the light shined on them because they deserve it.
Absolutely. Man, there's again so much stuff you can do with these guys, either as singles wrestlers, as a tag team. Yeah, I'm rooting for them to succeed no matter what they do, man. I think that they could have a good run over there. I don't know. I'm very tentative about my excitement about it, but I think that it can go well. I'm definitely not looking forward to the flip-flop that we see with all of this free agency stuff. Because while I love free agency in wrestling now, I love the fact that there are options. If something's not working out somewhere, I can just go, well, let me go over here and see if it'll be better. But the fandom around these things and how they flip flop. I mean, look at the Miro stuff currently and how a lot of people were very excited for him to come in, and people have very much turned on Miro in some circles. And I feel like some people might do that to Lucha Bros, but then you're also gonna have some people on the other side that are just gonna act like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, boy, these guys were cooking for years, and you guys didn't care until they came over here.
I mean, there was a very famous clip of y'all being very mad at these guys for hitting Canadian destroyers back to back that you guys said wasn't wrestling. But I guess that's definitely going to change when they hit them 10 Canadian destroyers in WWE, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're going to go over there and do indie-rific stuff, and you guys are going to love it. It's going to be getting at This Is Awesome chance and all the rest of that stuff. But when they were doing this somewhere else, it's like, you sure that's wrestling? I don't know if that's wrestling.
It's so funny. I was there was a West Coast Pro show last Friday, and there was a fan there that started to chant, "This is awesome." And like, when this is awesome is legit a WWE chant at this point. Like, it's for that like when you hear it in not a WWE place, it's like you almost want to boo. Like somebody was like, "Oh no,
you almost want to boo."
Like, it's because that shit doesn't feel genuine, and I feel like you're saying this isn't genuine right now.
Well, I mean, I think that This Is Awesome chant still works at shows, but I just think that it
doesn't
like
ever feel genuine to me if I'm keeping it real. Like, it's just like, all right, it's our time to say something. This is, well, you don't even know what you're saying this is awesome for. A false finish happened.
Yeah, it's so ingrained into like the WWE fan culture now, and there's so many people that try to start chants and they don't follow the flow of the match before they start trying to start the chant. They'll just start yelling. They'll just start yelling, "This is awesome," and the match hasn't really gotten going yet.
Or people,
it happened. I don't think that's just a WWE thing. I think sometimes the crowd wants so badly to get a chant started, and it's like, hey, that's fun and all, but let's make them actually worth something for a reason. Like, I want to chant too, but when it's worth it, these chants should mean something.
That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, free agency is very interesting. We also have some probably have some stuff coming up with Bobby Lashley. He is currently a free agent. I have to assume that he's going to find a landing spot soon. He's been teasing some stuff. Very excited to see what he does next. Very excited to see what MVP does next. We got some other guys from over there that could potentially be free agents as well soon. They've got more Kevin Owens talk. Very interested to see what happens with that. I kind of believe Kevin Owens is going to stay put, but man, just the idea, the idea that he could leave gets pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I've been totally convincing myself this week that that I want him to be in AEW, but I don't think so at all. Like, I don't think he's gonna leave there. Like, he's in, like, essentially, he's a top guy over there. Like, do you want to not be a top guy over here and go and you're gonna be a top guy in AEW for sure, guaranteed. But do you want, like, I guess it kind of depends on what goals and admirations he has kind of moving forward as a wrestler and as a character. Like, how much longer is he gonna be here? How much more does he want to do? Does he still want to be world champion? Because you can definitely go over to the other side and become world champion. And I don't know if you're ever gonna be world champion over here. Like, there's all these kind of things that are surrounding it. You know what I mean? But I'm still very excited about the prospects. Like, there's some contracts in the air that haven't been signed, and there's some things that have been pitched that haven't been received. So, like, the potential of Kevin Owens / Kevin Steen being in AEW, very high for me.
Yeah, I could go either way. I wouldn't be mad if he stays put, but buddy, if we're sitting somewhere watching an AEW show and Kill pops up on the screen, I would be out of here.
I'm going ham. I'm going crazy. I'm on fire. I just always want to pay tribute, and I want the people that made this brand and established this to get their due in here. Like, we've seen Brian get his due, the Young Bucks get their due. We've seen a bunch of people from Ring of Honor, like Nigel McGuinness, are getting their due. I want to see some people that built the foundation in PWG and were there to establish what this brand was going to be, get their due. And Kevin Steen is one of the number one people to represent that. So, of course, anytime this talk comes up, I'm like, bring over Sting, bring over Sting, bring over Sting. But, like, they're gonna offer him a bag. He wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. Like, I know all the reasons to stay.
Yeah, main event 2 years in a row. That's a pretty big deal.
And that tag match is one of my favorite WWE moments of all time. Like, I get it.
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, we've been talking for a while about like what's going on with the Bucks. I want to see them revamp, but I mean, if you want to come out of this elite stuff and do something, you could always do Mount Rushmore revamp. I think that the fans would be very much into that.
We were just talking on Ask Grapsody about what could happen with Adam Cole, and hey, that's a good way to get him back in the game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at Mount Rushmore revamp at all. Because again, I'm ready for the Bucks to just put them tassels back on, man.
And that would be a great way to add some motivation to the Bucks too, like you're discussing here. Like, they need something else. Like, Steen coming and giving that his brand of, the fuck are you guys doing? Like, why are you in this position when you guys are who you are? Why are you doing this bullshit EVP thing? He's the only one that could put it in their brain with his level of being Kevin Steen, you know?
That promo would be money. Him coming in. I'm sitting over there. I'm watching. You guys have these suits on. You're wearing vests to wrestle. What are you doing? This isn't what you guys do. Go put them tassels on right now.
I'm telling you, dog. We're getting money if that happens. Like, he's the only one that could come and do that. So that's in the back of it. Like, damn, that would be amazing. But again, like, I feel like we're at a 15% chance of that happening. I'll do a Will Washington thing. I think we're at like 15% of that happening.
Nick, you're doing all kind of weird stuff with your facial hair. What are you doing? You guys are trying to sell shoes. You're wearing robes. What the fuck is this?
Come on, dude. We need it. Steen's the only one.
Yeah, I would be very much into Kevin Owens coming over there. Man, and, it wouldn't be bring Sammy with you. I don't know. I don't know if that's a possibility, but
going all the way. Let's really do it.
But yeah, they've been doing interesting stuff with him on SmackDown. I do think that this will he or won't he thing has been interesting. I told people going into the rivalry with Cody that this was going to be an interesting story, and I've been here for it. I thought the match was super fire. I think that's been one of my favorite Cody title defenses so far this year. And it could be that I'm a Kevin Owens fan. But I think the storyline that they've been doing so far, doing this super dramatic, cinematic thing, and then cutting back to Kevin Owens sitting there with his arms crossed watching it backstage, because he's very much like you and me. Like, what is this, man? Like,
what's going on here?
Why are you doing this, bro? You were just feuding with this guy at the beginning of the year. He cheated you out of a title win a year ago. He has made my life hell for years. You're just gonna go
fighting side by side against this guy and his family, and now you guys are gang? What's going on here?
You're gonna go meet this guy on a football field and have this kumbaya and get back together with him after we're friends. You're not friends with that guy. That guy ain't your friend. And so, yeah, the idea of him coming back out last night and he was gonna address it and he was gonna go out there and address the crowd and say how he felt about it. And he was cut off by the bloodline coming out there. Tama Tonga hitting this, yeah. But
no, before that, of them walking through the metal detector and Jacob starts beating up all the guys.
that was great. I man, you're talking about somebody that has the aura, as kids say, man. Jacob, man. Man.
My God. The way that Jacob is presented, the way that the fans like could just feel it. Like it's like, oh, this guy's way different.
He's special. You can see it, man. He's special. Man. The way he works, like the way his charisma and everything when he walks in the room. The other part of it is, man, Gorillas of Destiny standing next to him, man. It's different, bro.
It's I was like, yo, you gotta have these guys together, like them being together and they're different kind of. Tama's on this, they're like on these like different kind of vibes, but they add so much to the presentation, and it's adding even so much more to the story of Solo's not really supposed to be the one. But when you see them three together, you're like, oh shit, these guys are fucking vicious. It's like they're telling us some good stuff over there.
It's great, but yeah, the stuff we got last night, with Kevin Owens coming back out after this whole cinematic event at Georgia Tech Arena. And he's just like, yeah, I want to address this. And he gets cut off before he can address it. That leads to the main event. And Cody comes out there for the save. And they did it again. He was standing behind him with the chair. He was looking frustrated. And he dropped the chair and shook his hand at the end. I don't know what to make of this. Because at the beginning of this, I kept saying, I don't believe he's going to turn. I'm not so certain anymore. I think that there's a world where he very much could turn on Cody, and I think he's getting tired of all of this. But I also could see where this could go both ways because people don't believe me, but I do believe there's a world where he's on that War Games team with them.
I feel like that's where it's leading because I feel like only reason I don't think he's going to fully turn on him because I don't think that he's the resolution is maybe not the word, but I don't think he's going to be the one to like beat him for the belt. And that's more like defeating him for a belt type turn. You know what I mean?
But it continues to go to show, and this could be just me, but everything Cody's been doing outside of this bloodline stuff has been so much more interesting. I want them to get
more interesting.
I want them to get back to the Kevin Owens stuff. I want them to get to the Orton feud. Like, get done with this bloodline stuff so you can just give Cody his own storylines again. Like when he was having his own storylines, I was with it. We don't need this bloodline stuff.
That's the only reason I super didn't love the thing with Roman, because it's like, I don't want you to get back to Roman though. Like I want you to get away from these guys, man. You got so much more to do. Everything you're doing without these guys, I think shows the champion that you really are. This is just you little broing back to little Roman Reigns again. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and he very, very much looks like equals. Just that energy of him standing in his hometown, holding the belt, and Roman tried to get his shit off, and he was just like, nah. This ain't that no more, man. This ain't like when I first came here 2 years ago when you were the man. You're not the man no more. I'm the man around here.
Yeah, but I just don't want to see him locked up with that fool anymore. I want to see him locked up with somebody else. And see him locked up with Kevin Owens is like, oh yeah, he's really getting to it. But yeah, I feel like Cody's gonna convince Kevin to join them in the War Games thing.
Yeah, and I think, I think that that's also gonna be
the problem,
part of what could turn him in the end. But we'll see.
You convinced me to do this bullshit. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
You're running around with these bloodline guys. I love Kevin Owens.
You think they're gonna both convince Sammy also to join them?
Yeah, I'm wondering because while I thought the Intercontinental title stuff has been good,
Mhm.
I think that segment between Braun and Jay was great. I don't know if I should be the guy that says it.
You should.
I think this Jay single run has peaked. It's peaked.
Oh shit.
Because I don't think he's gonna win a world title. I don't think he's gonna win an international championship. I think this is it. I think this is the ceiling for him right now. I don't think it's going. I think he's destined to end up back with the bloodline stuff. I think
Rikishi's gonna be pissed, Phil.
I think he's destined to end up teaming with Jimmy and Roman again.
Yep.
I don't see him. How many title matches has he had this year?
Wow.
And he keeps losing. The guy is very popular. The Yeet stuff is very over. Boy, did I not like the beginning of that promo of him, starting a sentence and then stopping midway and giving the crowd time to say Yeet. That was my favorite part of the segment. But when they actually started going back and forth and his responses to Brian, that stuff was great. But it's not going to happen. He loses title match again, dog. Because I've seen people saying he's got to win this one because he keeps losing. He's not going to win. Braun is their guy. They want you to invest in Braun.
Breaker.
I think it's peaked. And to be honest with you, I'm over this Heat stuff, dog. I'm very much over it. I think that
liked it.
I think that it's popular, and I think that it's over with the crowd, but they have run it into the fucking ground, man.
It is dead. I hate that. The only reason I never liked it because I think Jey Uso's he's a good promo. Like he showed a lot of fire. He showed a lot of good stuff, and
he's been great.
This has just put a damn crutch on him. He has to be stuck in Yeet land every time he does something now, and I just think he's so much more dynamic than that.
That's another one. I don't know if I should say this one either. I feel like the Yeet stuff started well and it was fun as just a bit when he did the press conference with Cody, and it was a fun thing. But I feel like it has actively hindered him as a performer.
1000%. Like that's the part that Rikishi ain't talking about. Him becoming like he's over. They lights all kind of shit, sells t-shirts, but as a character and as progressing as Jey Uso. Hinder. Like I said, he has to be some of his matches are built around Yeet punches. It's like everything is fucking Yeet, dude. It's like, no, that's not gonna do it. And
it's overkill, bro. It's overkill. But yeah, that segment was good. I think that the match at the pay-per-view is gonna be fire. We're
getting back to the Usos, right? I feel like
I think that's where this is going. And that's why I'm like, I feel like this singles run has kind of hit its
peaked.
It's peaked. And maybe they'll come back around to it and he'll get a more fully formed singles run. But I just think the timing was off. I think you needed to give him a big win early on and it didn't happen. It just feels like it's never going to happen now.
Like Rikishi was right about that. There was a moment that he should have not beaten Roman, but like coming off of that when he was super hot, they needed to give him a big Intercontinental or US title. He needed something and they never gave it to him because they were just like, oh, he's over. It doesn't matter if he has anything. And I think that's kind of what bit him in the butt at the end.
Yeah. And I mean, look, all of this is done,
he's over. Like I said,
it has benefited him tremendously overall. The main event, Jay stuff, this stuff, he's very much over. I mean, it used to be a point where some people couldn't tell which one was which, and now they're very much, popular in their own rights. I remember
at all.
Yeah, I remember as a tag team how Jimmy used to lead a lot of the promos and how he used to be the most charismatic guy. Now that is completely flipped. Most people like Jay.
Jay was the quiet one of the group. He would just kind of sit in the back doing his thing. Now he's fucking Jey Uso. We know him.
Yeah, they had great chemistry in their promos where they would go back and forth. They had kind of Jada Kiss and Styles things where they would, finish each other's bars and stuff. And that stuff worked great. But now I feel like Jay stands out. And that's a good thing for him. But that tag division needs him.
I think especially with what we talked about with Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns coming in, we need a big, and we just talked about the New Day and how they're essentially going to break up. We need an established kind of legend or like leads the brand of what WWE tag teams represents. We need one of those tag teams to be there for all these other teams that are still trying to come up. And the Usos probably represent that more than anybody. And I think just where the stories lead in, we need them for this War Games match. We need them for this story going forward. Like them being a tag team just makes the most sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the segment. I don't want to make this out to be like I don't like Jay. I just think the direction with him, it's been a rocky road. It's been a rocky one.
It's like I said, Rikishi's gonna be so mad at us.
Well, man, I like Jay. But I just don't. I don't know, man. But yeah, I think this was great. And as a guy that was a big Braun skeptic at one point, you could very much see that they were very much invested in him at the start of NXT 2.0, and I was just kind of like, why this guy? And the more and more they pushed him on NXT 2.0, I was just kind of like, I mean, he's a good wrestler. He's a talented guy. He's rough around the edges, but I don't see what is it that they see in him. And then, they started doing the fishing gimmick, and I was like, this is not good. But turning him heel worked wonders for him, and the way they brought him up to the main roster, I officially see it. I see the vision. This guy, he's hot, man. Like, this guy is going to be world champion someday. It's coming.
I didn't know how I really know that this guy's the guy and things have changed, Phil. We don't even care about the Steiner thing anymore. People are just like, his name's Braun Breaker. That's it. We don't care. We're moving forward. This is the guy. That's how I know that the game has really changed and they're invested in this guy.
Because he flipped that on Jay in that promo where he was just like, I didn't need to use my name. I didn't need to use nepotism. I came in here and I started cooking. I earned this on my own. He's got his catchphrase over the "Where are my dogs barking out here?" That's, man, Braun he's smoking it. This Intercontinental title run has been incredible for him.
I don't think it's going to be a long time before he's world champion. Like, this isn't going to be like a 5-year build. No, in a year, they're going to be like, here's your belt, dude. Like, they like this guy a lot. They're showing that they're invested and he can squash almost anybody in this company if need be. But them tans are crazy, though. We do have to make sure we say that them tans are crazy. Those tans are insane. But the future of the WWE is fucking Braun Breaker. It's very apparent.
Very bright. And I mean, because at the start of NXT 2.0, I was like, no, push Melo as the main guy. And they eventually did. But I was just kind of like, no, just make this guy the champion. He had the breakout tournament contract at the time. I was like, man, just have him cash in, make him champion day one. And I didn't see it, but now I do. I see it. I see the vision. This guy.
They saw the vision early. I was like, Steiner Brothers, they're one of the best tag teams of all time. They definitely do something. And I was like, stuck on the Steiner thing for a long time. Why isn't this guy's name Steiner? Why isn't he blah, blah, blah? Why aren't they going more on this? But now I really see the vision, like, oh, I see what they were doing. They were establishing him as something separate. And I think it's worked out wonders for him of like, we do know that that's his dad. We do know that that's his family, but he's separate from them. He's a different entity and he's going to be WWE champion. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely going to happen. Man, also the Bronson stuff they're doing on Raw. The thing ever since injuring Seth Rollins and writing him off TV, I've really loved the way they've been building Bronson up. And this just goes to show what I was saying with AEW, how that is one of their strengths over there. They know how to build up a big man as a side attraction. I mean, the Braun Strowman run and how hot he was at some point. AEW has never managed to do that with any of their big men. Wardlow's the closest they got to it, but man, this Bronson stuff is fire.
I mean, WWE is the one that established the fucking big man territory thing, so it does make sense that they could that they would have that figured out a lot more. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of their meat division is way different and way higher on the echelon of wrestling when it comes to establishing those guys as real characters and not just big monsters and having some kind of stories and things attached to them. I think that's what separates it. It's like not just the meat matches where they go at it. It's like Braun Strowman has a story. Bronson Reed has a story. It's not just them being monsters because they're monsters.
Yeah, they've done a great job of following up on that Bronson attack on Rollins. It wasn't just like a one-off thing.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a great job with him. Even him having to skip out on the tournament because he got COVID, and they've managed to make something great out
It
of
still
that.
worked out for him, kind of,
Yeah.
essentially, huh?
Yeah, I thought Braun Strowman needed something. He needed a big feud, and this has been great. It was a usual, stereotypical WWE big man fighting into the backstage, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a good use of both of those guys.
Yeah, I'm excited because Bronson, of course, he's a super talented guy that I think has just needed the opportunity for a long time. And for him to finally get it, I think it's awesome, especially coming off of, like, he got so many highlights and there's so much attached to him being this big monster that he deserves it. And I know he's going to kill it going forward. Like, he's badass.
My prediction is actually, and this is why I don't think Jay is going to win. I actually think Bronson is eventually going to be the guy that beats Braun.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're eventually going to put the Intercontinental title on him.
See, these names are fucking me up though. Bronson, Braun.
Braun,
Braun, Braun, and Braun. It's just a lot going on, but I don't think Jey Uso's gonna win it all. Braun Breaker's the one going up, and they got some exciting stuff going over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't into everything on Raw or SmackDown this week. Some of the stuff on SmackDown, I thought the end of that women's tag match was silly. I thought the build up to it was, you had something interesting going, and then they ended the match in the most uninteresting way possible.
I was just thinking about the clip I saw of LA Knight and Andrade at the end of their match. What was going on there, Phil?
And that match was great.
The match was good. I watched the match after I saw them go off. I'm like,
the match
well,
was
what
great.
happened?
I've been loving watching Andrade continue to prove, man, he is a great weekly wrestler. He's an entertaining guy. His matches have been heat. The Carmelo feud has been great.
This all makes sense that Andrade's taking into this role, you know?
Yeah, and he had a great match here with LA Knight. Every time he does that feint kick he does into that back knee. Back elbow.
Back elbow. Mm-hmm.
Man, it looks crazy every time.
The real Judas effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, after the match, they're trying to, I don't know, they're trying to show love to each other, or Andrade's trying to get a handshake and LA Knight's trying to get a fist bump, but they don't communicate. It feels like LA Knight doesn't want to, and I don't know what was going on here, but I was very confused.
I was very confused by that as well. It seemed like LA Knight just wanted to give him a fist bump, and Andrade was like, nah, shake my hand like a man. And so he, like, I don't know what's going on there. He did like this weird. He did like this weird handshake fist bump, and then he was just like, just raise the hand. Enough. I'm just gonna raise your hand. Take this. I'm trying to give you your piece. Like, what's up?
Andrade does get to the take, like, dude, take this handshake. Why are you doing this? And LA Knight's just looking at him the whole time, like.
And yeah, then after the end, he's just looking at him like, what are you doing?
Like, what was happening here? That's just like wrestler ego, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like,
very, very weird way to end that match. But I thought it was a great match. We got more of the Andrade Carmelo stuff afterwards. Carmelo told him, go put them fries in the bag, bro. You're washed. Which is some cap, but it was a funny line.
Definitely some cap in those raps, but hella funny though. Telling a nigga put the fries in the bag, you're washed, after he just had a great match is just funny.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. And man, just make it a best of 7 series at this point. You've got up to 5 matches. You might as well do 7.
You might as well keep going for it. And I'm like, there has to be a resolution though. Like, they can't just keep fighting for nothing, you know?
Yeah, I think this is leading to Carmelo getting a title match against LA Knight.
You think he's gonna beat him? Who's gonna beat LA Knight?
I don't know, but I would be mad if it was Melo. I think Melo needs the big win. I think he could use something like he
needs the big win more than Andrade does.
Yeah, I think he could use something like the United States Championship, but I don't think they're done with this LA Knight run quite yet. So
right,
I don't know.
Might have your boy come back and win it at this point.
No.
LP, OLP.
No. He's on TV trying to sell us fake Lunchables. No, I'm good. I'm good, dog.
Keep it. Him and Kevin Nash don't like that fool at all, though. He's at least keeping the feud going.
Yeah.
3-hour SmackDown. Man, how are they gonna fill that up?
Don't do it. Please don't do this to us.
Please don't do it. Don't do it. Is this has to be a USA thing then? Like if they have to be like, oh, we like 3 hours of wrestling. Do we need more?
It's absolutely a USA thing. I always knew that.
Because like this even confirms it even more. Like, oh, they put a different show on there and they want it to be 3 hours. It's all USA.
Right.
Let's get into some super chats and things. Hey, what's over there says, you guys think Diddy will dance on top of the car like MJ did? That's insane. That's crazy.
I don't know.
That is. But I mean, if I were a betting man, I'd say yeah. Tin Ruza says, Reg, I went to that Swerve Fozzy show in London and said to Swerve to do something with you and profit as well. Give ROH to Bill Birmingham. KO to AEW. Hashtag TBP.
Tin Ruza described this concert to me, and it sounded like exactly what I would expect, like this mismatch of wrestling fans and actual people that were there for the music, and the wrestling fans kind of just sitting around like, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to dance to this? Like what? And then like it's like you have two clashing styles too. You've got rock music and then you got Swerve doing the rap music. Swerve did do the mashup with Fozzy where they did the Rage Against the Machine record, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool, but the fans were definitely sitting out there like, what do we do?
Like, I understand the concept. It makes sense. It's wrestlers, two wrestlers together. They both have theme songs that you know, so it's like gonna work. But like the rest of it, when wrestling fans don't know Big Pressure or Judas, like they're not gonna know what to do with their hands, or like, because most of them don't go to concerts, they go to wrestling shows.
Yeah.
And like, that's fair. Hey, what's over there? Says, shout out to Jazz the Rapper for the AEW scheme against Tay-Rock. And if Hangman hits Jarrett with the flaming guitar, he will have one hater of the year for me. Yeah, that Jazz the Rapper scheme that she hit on Tay-Rock, that Tay-Rock, while he's getting barred up, is like, oh my God, that's the craziest thing I ever heard, is insane.
Yeah, that was dope. Man. Again, continuing to kill this narrative that AEW doesn't have a pop culture imprint and that black fans are not watching this show because a lot of these battle rappers absolutely are into AEW. I mean, just getting the Nana name drop and just seeing, like, just again, like certain people that'll be like, oh, this isn't the culture or this isn't that. Like
they said AEW wasn't for the culture, but that numbers are lying.
I don't know, man. There's so many examples where that's not true. I mean, bro, it wasn't that long ago where Westside Gunn was name dropping Orange Cassidy, name dropping Danhausen, the fucking Lucha Bros record. Like
they all have songs. All these AEW wrestlers.
And Westside is always front row. Smoke Dizza is a big AEW fan.
We've seen Rick Ross there, Kevin, like we can go on and on. Yeah. Steph the Writer says, put the IC title on Jay. Braun needs more character work. Give us more Bianca versus EO.
Yeah, definitely want to see a rematch with EO. That match was great. But yeah, I don't think Jay is winning. Sorry.
Jay is definitely not winning. Steph the Writer also says, with the stack roster, TNA partnership, and indie talent, now is the perfect time for WWE to bring back the Mae Young Classic and Evolution.
I think they should at least do an Evolution. I mean, if you're not, because I mean, you've got a situation now where you could just do it as a special. Anything. Put it on Netflix, put it on Peacock or something.
Yep. That's what makes it even more confusing. Like, it doesn't even have to be a pay-per-view. It could just be a show on their network.
Yeah.
Leonard Aarons III brings up a pretty cool, interesting thing. Wild Theory, Nick Wayne beats Jack Perry.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I think they do got to get to it with some guys like Nick Wayne and Hook, where they keep telling us these young guys are the future, but they're kind of standing in place. Like, man, it pained me to watch Hook go through this long Jericho feud and then come out of it and still be doing the same thing with the same. Everything is exactly the same.
Everything's exactly the
Still
same.
he's still holding the FTW title. He's still doing the same kind of squash matches. Like, man, this guy was in an AEW World Championship match. Move this guy forward, man.
And that match was so fire, you guys.
Yes.
Like, we thought we were good off of that, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Hey, what's over there says if Danny resigns, him versus Jack or Nick Wayne versus Jack with Kill Switch in Nick's corner on the 5th anniversary. I think they tried to establish a big win. I think Nick Wayne got a big win in a match last night on Rampage. So
yeah, I mean, that wouldn't. I didn't even think about that. That wouldn't be a bad idea for the anniversary show. Luchasaurus versus Jack.
Oh
That wouldn't be a bad
yeah,
idea.
for the anniversary with the connection, they started here as a tag team, Jungle Express. That
wouldn't be a bad idea.
Bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Tenruz also says Meg the Stallion to the Fed after talking with Monet. AEW getting extra 20 to 30 mil with the second package. AEW about to spend. Need Beyonce / Kamala Harris performance.
I don't know if we're getting the second half of that, but it very much seemed like Mercedes was trying to make this Meg thing happen. She talked about it a little bit in her newsletter. I pretty much figured it wasn't a coincidence that she had started talking to her and was trying to put something in the works, and then all of a sudden this SmackDown theme song thing came together very fast. So I'm not surprised. Hopefully that doesn't kill the interest that Meg has with working with Mercedes. We've seen that happen before where, because I've seen people online say, oh, well, you guys don't understand how placements work. Just because she has a placement, that doesn't mean anything. But we've also seen rappers make a relationship over there and start doing things over there. And, you know, they want to keep the relationship, so they aren't going to work with other companies. And so hopefully this isn't something that kills the Meg and Mercedes thing. Hopefully they can still do something together.
And I do know how placements work, and they go a lot faster than you would think. If I need a Meg Stallion placement tomorrow, they could get you one. It's not that hard.
Some of the stuff around placements is not what people think, and especially this is wrestling. It's not just like the other entertainment business, man. It's not the same.
Like the way I've quickly seen people get music for a show in like hours, like it doesn't, like if they were like, we found out about this Mercedes thing today and we want to get a Megan Stallion song tomorrow, they could do that. It goes that quickly. Not like, oh, it could also have been in the works, but it could also happen within hours. A deal could be made.
And this is WWE.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting that deal done faster than most people.
Way faster. Like, hey, this is the fucking biggest company in the world. The lawyers, they could call directly to her record label, the head, and be like, hey, send us the fucking thing, and it happens.
And I think what made it happen even faster, if I had to assume, this is a single that Meg is working right now. This is a single that's currently charting. If she's trying to continue to push this up the charts, it makes all the sense in the world to put it on a TV show that millions of people are watching. It just makes all the sense in the world.
It does. Leonard Aarons III said WWE signing tag teams is like the Panthers signing insert big name quarterback here. Why are we acting like this is big? Seriously.
I mean, it is big. It's big because it's the same thing as a bunch of people from those earlier years with AEW jumping ship and ending up over there. It is. Yeah. It's a big deal with just the optic of it.
Right. Just like a team that established himself over there is going to come into a big contract, a big deal, and a big thing. It's a big deal.
It is.
Vasco says no Aussie Open or Grizzly Young Vets. Lucha Bro make me sad.
Man, yeah, that Aussie Open match would have hit too, man. I just hate that Mark got hurt and it really cut their run short as a tag team. I mean, Kyle Fletcher has been smoking it. Man, that trios match was
super fire.
Man, this is another thing that irritates me about the Bucks, man. They continue to, every time you put them in trios matches, they show us why trios matches are so much fun. And you don't get that same energy from all the trios matches with the company. Sometimes it feels like the trios matches are just going through the motions, but man, they every time they prove why trios matches is a viable part of this company and why those tag belts can work with the trios belts, but they just haven't found the right balance yet.
Yep. The foundation of this company was built off trios matches like this happening in Reseda, California. I watched a bunch of them with the same kind of elements. So when you see it, you're like, oh, that's why they have these belts. That's why they have these championships. But just like Phil's describing here, everybody else that ain't the Young Bucks matches don't hit like this when it comes to trios time.
And I mean, like the House of Black they carved their niche as a trio. They were a fun trio to watch. Death Triangle was a fun trio to watch. There were trios, but it just doesn't feel like everybody brings that same energy, man.
It's different. Corey Stalling says Eddie Kingston versus Kevin Owens would feed my family. Not gonna lie, please, Kevin Owens, please. The promo battle between Eddie and Kevin, come on,
man, that would be great.
Yeah, dude. Yes, Yimsey says Did it come up? I think. Oh, here it is. Yeah, dude. Ramsey says PWG. Think we'll ever see Super Dragon in AEW? I don't think so. I think Super Dragon's retired for good.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Like that, they did the last thing. There was a time where I thought where he was tag team champions with Brody King. No, he was champions with Malachi Black, one of those guys in House of Black. And I was like, oh, that could potentially happen. But I think at this point, with what's happening with PWG, and I think his wife has there's some health issues over there. I don't think we'll ever see that. That would be amazing and cool, but I don't think we'll see it. Vasco also says Kevin Owens versus Ospreay, Okada, Bandito, Takeshita would slap. Yeah.
There's so many matches over there for Kevin Owens. That would be great.
Just a line everybody up. They're great. Hey, what's over there says Mount Rushmore with Steen, Cole, and Strong would be a great BT skit.
Yeah.
Hey, what's over there? It's being nasty to finish this.
Yeah, get back to having fun, man.
Let's have fun, man. Everything doesn't have to be serious, dog. Like we can have fun over here.
And I mean, again, the Buck stuff with Okada in that trios match was a lot of fun. But I just want to see more of it. That's all. That's
it. Just this. Hey, what's over there? Also says, y'all guys think Diddy would back out the shiny suit? Will bring back the shiny suit for his court appearance? I can't even say it. It's so ridiculous. He needs to be as serious as he can be. Hey, what's over there?
I don't think you're winning that case if he pulls up and like the car opens and you're just seeing like the shiny suit coming out. You're seeing like the flickering suit and just dancing down. Nah,
he's going all the way down if he does an extravagant thing like that. Hey, what's over there says, I mean, Meg could have been a musical guest for 2025 All In. That's in Texas.
Hey, I hope that I hope that Mercedes can still end up doing something with her.
Yeah, it's not over. It could still be a thing. Devil Kazuya 27 says, if Meg does something in WWE, what would it be? So if she was in WWE, what would she do? I mean, I guess she would get with the big three, right?
That makes the most sense. I think if you're gonna do this big Bianca Jade match at WrestleMania, her walking one of them out would be
that's huge.
That'd be massive.
Yeah, that
her walking Bianca out to that ring, that would be huge.
Mercedes is gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
that's all of our super chats. Appreciate you guys helping us out today, being supportive. Yeah. Y'all are dope.
Appreciate you guys. See if we have any more Humper chats before we get out of here, because we are getting out of here. We're not doing another 4-hour episode.
We are not playing with y'all today.
We're not doing that. Stop it.
Just like Phil said on that Hall of Notes, I cannot go for that.
No, can't go for that. No, can't do. What a catalog of records, man.
Another crew that are beefing. I'm like, could everybody stop beefing, you guys? I'm tired of this.
Yeah, man. They're also not getting along, unfortunately. Damn. But man, the amount of records they have together, man. I sent you that
slappers.
I sent you that one Hall & Oates record as a joke that one day because Kaiser was outside looking like Kaiser, and I was like, nah, man.
Yep.
Let's see, Humper Chats. We got one last one from Smiley BWR. She said, "Afternoon, boys. Hope all is well. Here to make people mad with my presence. Roman and Cody segment felt like a damn movie, and now I need more. Hi, Reggie." Yeah, shout out to friend of the show, Smiley. Don't let anybody convince you that she is not a friend of the show.
Hi,
Absolutely.
Tracy.
Absolutely
Love you,
a friend of her.
friend.
I just saw Smiley. Oh, I did see her at All Out. I was about to say, did I see her at All Out? But I usually see her at AEW shows in Chicago.
Hi,
Yeah,
friend. That's crazy that last week we slandered you on our pod that you were listening to and submitted super chats to. Love you.
Apparently, we called you out.
We were calling her out while she's listening.
Yeah.
Love you, Tracy.
Yeah, friend of the show. Believe that is all of our Humper Chats. That is all of our super chats. You know what time it is. This is where we bid you adieu. This has been a fun one. Again, I will be hosting the Raw post show on Monday night with Denise Salcedo.
Yes, sir. We're doing a watch along of Grand Slam, Denise and I. So that's the next time you'll see me with her.
Cool. I will also be back at our usual time slot next Saturday at noon Eastern. The homie A.O. Baker is going to pop in as a guest.
We're being counter programmed soon, aren't we? Is it WWE? When's the next WWE show?
The next WWE pay-per-view is Bad Blood.
That's not a morning show.
No. It's going to be...
When are we being counter programmed?
I don't know. But that's not an international show, so it won't.
Sure. Maybe I'm just making this up, you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, it won't interfere with our time slot on Saturday. But yeah, appreciate you guys as always. To to steal one from Joe Budden. Keep my dad in your prayers. Lord knows you need some. Has this big gash on his head and his hands.
Bill has all right. Check on his dad. This is so crazy.
But yeah, appreciate you guys as always for the support. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. I'm Righteous Reg. We're out of here.